Greetings, Devans. I am there here. I'm just waiting for the camera to come in. I'm sure you can hear me. Okay, dear ones. Actually, I have some problem. I think with the camera here. I am able to communicate through this microphone here, and I'm sorry because this is the first time I'm doing this on the Mac, and I've never done this before. So that we have a private session, I was trying to do this. So for some reason, yesterday I tested it and it was all showing fine. But then today when I went to on this, I cannot see the camera here. It's not showing the camera. Greetings, Evans. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to fix up this video. The camera here. Yesterday while testing it, it was all there. It was all fine. I think I should have tested it in the morning today again, once again, but I couldn't do it because of time issues. And I came in right now. I'm trying to just stream this through this software on the Mac. So, but somehow the camera is failing to launch, I guess, here. Though the audio is there. So if you can please bear with me and just give me 5 to 10 minutes because I just want to restart this stuff, and in case anything goes wrong also I still have the audio. I will still be able to communicate through the audio. This was a very important session for me because I wanted to do this today, and so I hope if you can bear with me just for 10 minutes. I'll just restart this Mac. Thank you so much. Okay, greetings Evans. I think I've got it right. I'm just testing my sound because if the mic is too near. Okay, so greetings Evans. I'm just hoping I'm live now. Yes, finally I am. Nice to see you all. Oh, I guess some people dropped off. I think they might come back a little later. Yay, I did it. I had to restart it and finally I got it this. Right. Okay, fine. Yeah, Himanshuji, he says, yeah, we can carry on. Yeah, audio also was fine, but then I had to do this. Malaji, welcome. I was trying to contact you from very long. You don't check your mails. That's the problem. Finally, you're here. Good. Nice to see you. And I think this is very nice because it's a good place to be in. It feels like a room, and we are all together. So those who want to show up here, they can always chat here. Those who want to remain um, hidden, they can always not prefer to talk or anything, and you will not even know, your identity will not be known here anyways. So greetings, Javans. I don't know about the light and stuff. There is a little dark here and all that. So I think we can just begin off. All these things don't really matter. What matters is your presence. And thank you so much for being here on time. I'm sorry. Now you'll be able to hear me clear. The mic had gone down. Very nice to see you all, guys. It's like one family, one family where we all resonate with one particular thing that we want in life, and we are all trying to help each other, nudge each other on this beautiful path. So greetings to all of you. I cannot look into all this. There are many names here, but I offer my respect and gratitude to all of you for being here in time and showing the seriousness in this subject, in subject like this. I never thought we would have even people like 40 people here, because I sent out around close to 60 people invite. I didn't expect that much. I was thinking around 20-25 would come, but it's good that it gives me good comfort to see that people are there in today's world who are interested in deeper truths and deeper insights. Because while I've been on this journey all my life, I have always had this lack of good company. Company in the sense, the people who can relate with what I'm talking, with what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and the people whom I can relate to. I can perceive what they are trying to. It's always been a little difficult trying to connect with similar kind of minds, because it's been a lonely journey for me, to tell you very frankly. Lonely because the seriousness that I have taken in this path, I'm not boasting here, I'm just telling my journey how it is. I've been so serious and trying to do things very seriously, but I found myself alone on this journey. Because practicality, as I told you, in spirituality, when we come into spirituality, there are all kinds of textures, all kind of intentions, and all different kinds of things are there. It's like colorful lights. And so initially I got lost in this mela of spirituality, because it's so much. Yeah, Malaji, no problem. You can just check your mail regularly. I have sent it long back, I think 2 months back. So that's why probably you didn't get it. So I'll resend you the mail. Anyways. So there are very few people actually who can relate to what we are talking also. And there, when I am talking on that platform, it's all mess. It's all mixture. I realized that little later. Let me clean up that place. Let me keep up all unwanted discussions or my triggers, or all those things should be kept aside, because we are not here for that. I realized that in one of my contemplation. But whatever it is, the people, when we gather together, we have a similar goal, we have a similar serious intention, we are looking forward to something very serious. So there shouldn't be any play of kind of play there. So I will ensure that slowly I'll clean up all those things, and I'll also stick to the path, the inner path, and the without any distraction, because all these are distractions. I saw that so much of time and energy is just being wasted in that. So where I'm trying to explain certain things and trying to get on the attention of my own attention and the attention of people into, oh, this is what we are focusing on and all that. So lots of love to you all, guys. Lots of love. I'm seeing your messages here. I can see it, and it's good. I think this platform is very good. Where and plus we don't have people who are walking in and out, and there are many people who just come to watch and curious find out. Many people just want to
check out what's happening and update somewhere. These are the things happening and all that. It's a little unwanted. So I thought this is better, where we are not going to talk about anything else. I don't want to talk about anything else but this particular subject. So I think all the future, what do you call, the lives that we do also, I have this list. So it will just go on to this particular list, and I don't want to make this public. I don't know if I will make this first one public or not. But as we go deeper and we contemplate deeper, I don't think so, because it might include our common practices that we are doing here. Practice on awareness only, nothing more. I won't be teaching any sadhana or anything like that. So simple things, because life is very simple and spirituality is very simple. It's not so complicated as we feel it is. So to begin with, we today's topic that we are trying to take on was the returning to source. How we are going to return to source and what we do to return to source. Because our prior responsibility after taking this human birth is this. So I wouldn't say that we are hardcore mumukshus. Mumukshus are people with intense desire for liberation, intense, and they have nothing else in mind. They are just only that. So that's also a kind of fanatism, if you see, very intense. Those are called mumukshus. But again, to tell you, the qualification required, as per what the Bhagavad Gita says, as per what many other scriptures says, the qualification needed for liberation is intense desire. There's this common story where the pupils are asking for liberation and to the master, to the guru, and he says, "Oh, you guys want liberation. So who wants it?" One guy puts his hand up, and that master takes the guy to the river and puts him into the river water. And that guy is struggling for air, but the master keeps him down for many seconds. And while he is almost going to conk off, he pulls him out, and he gasps for air. And that is when the master says, this gasping for air, this intensity that you have, this should be your intensity. This is mumukshatva. Mumukshatva. The intensity for that liberation. If you have this kind of intensity, then only it's going to work on. So for that reason, all the scriptures, all the mystics have always told to be one-minded, one-focused towards your goal for those people seeking salvation. But we are not talking here that, because we are still into the world. We still have so many other things to do. We cannot just leave everything, and even in the world, being in the world, we cannot only 24/7 concentrate on this. But at the same time, that's an excuse if we say that, oh, I can't because, or we shouldn't. I shouldn't get into this so serious. So the excuse that we make is, well, paths have told, not to take this so seriously, and to do it at least sometimes in a day, to do my meditation practices, to do the spiritual practices, the sadhana, the austerities, the tapas. Or if I can't, let me do at least a little bit of chant or some puja or rituals, so that I can stay in touch with that divine. And that is a good excuse for us to say that, so what? I'm in the world, so what? I'm in touch with God. I have not left divinity. I have not left spirituality. I'm in touch with God. But deeply, if you look at this habit of ours, it's very unconscious. It's been done from the external layer of our conditioning. So we do not know. We have not yet penetrated deep within to see what is it that we can gain quality in this. Because at the end of the day, I have seen many people spending 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, even 20, 22 years. People have told me, I have done 20 years, 22 years of this intense practice, and I have done these rituals. I've been doing Homa regularly. I've been, doing 1008 times chant of so and so mantra. I've been doing my Guru mantra. I've been doing this practice, that practice, XYZ. It goes on. 20 years, but I don't see anything significant. Of course, things have happened. I've turned a little positive. I've become a little calmer. All those things are there. Good transformation things have happened, and I'm able to be little better than before. But But what? But that I something deeply is still lacking, and I feel I have not evolved. I've not gone ahead. So for this reason, I have begun talking on this subject for quite a long time. If you have seen, all my videos are all pointing towards this subject, because I myself have been a victim of this kind of a mental status for a long time. Because I've thought that if I do this, if I do this, if I do, the more things I do, the more wisdom I gain about this, about that, and the more knowledge I have of everything, and the more paths I look into, the more beneficial for me. But to tell you, in spirituality, the more is not necessarily the better. It's not the better. Why means, here we are talking about practical spirituality. Why I use this term practical spirituality on and often is because we got to be very, very practical in our spiritual approach. It's easy to say or be labeled as a spiritual, because I'm telling you, the ego is so cunning. The subtle ego is so cunning because it wants to keep us always stuck in something or the other. So from the worldly stuff, when the materialistic stuff, when people awaken themselves, and when they suddenly become awakened and they say, oh, this is not the thing, I got to go deeper, I got to find for God, I got to find myself, and they start walking, then the next catch of that same ego, the subtle ego, it turns into spiritual ego. This side, it's changing sides. Worldly ego, it turns into spiritual ego, and we are not even aware of this. That is why I'm teaching awareness. So over a period of time, what this subtle ego does is it keeps you again stuck, because there it was keeping you stuck, and here now, in the name of spirituality, it will keep you stuck. That is when the justification comes. Oh, I'm doing everything. My practices, I'm doing everything. I'm doing fine. There's nothing wrong. Everything is going brilliant. Then why are there no brilliant results? Because that practicality we have not seen. We have just seen that being spiritual is enough. It's not enough. It's enough if you just want a little bit of peace of mind, a little bit of happiness here and there, a little bit of controlling your anxiety, a little bit of coming out of depression. I'm just saying little bit, because coming out of depression with little bit of spirituality would mean that you are susceptible to even go back to depression. And you must have seen that. I'm sure you must have seen that some practices or some events give you a very high, and you can go even double low than that. There are phases in life when we are feeling so overjoyed and everything feeling beautiful, but there are also phases in life when we feel worse, just the opposite. Why does that happen? Because whatever we are gaining through that so-called spiritual practice, or spiritual effort, or meditation, or japa, or ritual, or puja, or whatever we are doing, we are unable to sustain that throughout our lives. That's the problem. Because whenever we take up an object, whenever we take up a meditation, a practice, we see that during that time we may have some goodness. That also, I'm telling you, there is no guarantee that when you're sitting for meditation, let's say 1 hour meditation, a whole 1 hour you are immersed in that. Not possible. There are many people who get involved in it and take a long time to get within also, deeper. So they spend a lot of time just to move away the muck and settle down. And sometimes people don't even find that they have settled down. For 1 hour has passed, and they feel they have done something mechanically, but there is no qualitative change in this. There is no feeling of joy. There is no feeling of a change within. Why? Because the approach towards this practicality, the spirituality is not very practical. What do I mean by practical? Practical means not getting too complicated with the theory and philosophy and the way the world defines spirituality. If you look the way the world is defining spirituality, you look anywhere, it is very alluring. It's just like the materialistic world. To actually tell you the benefits of spirituality, do you know what kind of effort goes in? You can see the advertisements, you can see the promotions, you can see so much has to be talked about the benefit. You get this. When you do this, you get this. Now my question is, If somebody already has an intense seeking, they don't require so much of wooing or cajoling or so much of advertisement to show you something. And I'm telling you what is being shown. Like, for example, if I tell you, if you do a spiritual practices, you will get so and so. You'll get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. All these things you'll get if you do. So that is a very conditional behavior which has been directly picked up from the materialistic world. Like, I'm selling a product, and if you need this, you buy this, you are going to get this benefit. So tell me, what are you buying that product for? You are buying it out of greed. This is what I am calling practical spirituality. Becoming practical to understand why am I'm not talking about the object. I'm not talking about who gives you what. I'm talking about myself. Why am I attracted towards it? I should go within and have awareness. Okay, I am trying to get this because there is greed in me. That because I am asking, I am wanting A, B, C, D fulfillment of my desires. Only when you see this in awareness, you will come to know, okay, there is a conditioning here, and my approach is not correct. I'm not again telling what the other person is giving is correct or not. The world gives everything to us. You look out in the world, there is all kind of things, all kind of support and help to us. But how much am I going with the right approach, which is called pure intentions? In other words, this is only called as pure intentions. When the intention is very pure, what is the intention? The intention should not be out of greed or fear. I need this, so I'm going for something. Fear, if I don't do this, I'll get punished. If I don't do this, I'll offend somebody. If I don't do this, hell will break loose on me. If I don't do this, I will not be good in the eyes of someone or in the eyes of God. If I don't do this, this fear. So greed and fear based, these are the two things that we got to very, very, very carefully look at before we start the the spiritual approach. I'm talking from my plus and minuses, from my gains and my losses. How I have studied spirituality over the past 25 years, or close to 25 years. How I have seen and how I have lost years in that. Especially in my start years when I just began all this. It was not so widespread, it was not so crystal clear to me. It took some time. And then as I realized the pros and cons, I studied myself, I studied others, where we are going. And this even I did with my master, because with my master also we used to discuss a lot of things. What goes right, what doesn't go right. He was very open. My master was very open. And I was very open. I am a person who is on face. I will not talk here and there. Whatever is there, I will talk on face. So there were times when I used to talk out what doesn't work. So the people around used to get offended. Oh my God, what's this guy talking? He shouldn't be talking like this. So there is a fear. Oh, something will happen if you talk this. Or there is a greed. Oh, if you talk nice only, you are going to get something nice. We are beyond that. That is what we call as authenticity. Authenticity means being what you are. Without hiding, there is no hide and seek. You are just what you are. What you feel, you speak. What you speak, you are. So this was told by Bhagavan Nityananda only. You speak only what you are. What is in your mind should be on your tongue. What is on your tongue should be on your mind. There should be nothing else. That is clarity. People ask me on this path how to gain purity. How can I get purity? Purity can come only when there is transparency. Watch this, note this. I don't know if you are keeping some notebooks or something. Make notes, guys. It's a very good habit of making notes, always. Because there are some things which will go off our mind. And some things which we catch, it might come like gems. Like just now I said, it's a precious gem which will not be told to you very often in the world, spiritual world. How to gain purity? The only way is to be transparent. Transparent means honest. Honest means authenticity, authentic, being authentic. So when that happens is when we go, there are a lot of things that happen. As you purify with this, and when your inner and outer is one, there is no conflict. Because otherwise we speak one, inside there is one, there will be inner conflict all the time. These inner conflicts are what creates negative energy. In some or the other way, they create negative energy. And that negative energy becomes the forces of what actually pulls us down from our practices. This is all unnoticeable. This is complete awareness subject that I'm talking about. We don't realize this because we are not aware. You just start becoming aware of this practice and keep being aware continuously, and you will start seeing this. With transparency comes even Vak Siddhi. How does Vak Siddhi come? Like I've told you, there are many powers and all those things that come in this. In the yogic tradition, there is something like you do certain practices and then you get entitled to certain siddhis and powers and all that. On the other aspect, being yourself, being clear, being purified, you attract those things automatically because the funda is the same. Those innate powers which lie within you, if that has to come out, the outer layers of ignorance has to be shed. So you either use a yogic tradition to destroy it. The yogic tradition is to destroy it by doing a certain kind of method, or you use devotion so that with devotion this melts down, ignorance melts down. This can be devotion to the God, devotion to a Ishta Devata, or it can be devotion to Guru, whatever. This is a devotion because in that this melts. That is what we call as kripa, grace. When that devotion intensifies, and I have explained this, a parabhakti to a parabhakti, when it starts transforming, it's becoming very pure love. Apara is to duality. I am here, my master is there, or the Ishta is there, or the Shivalinga is there, or the photo is there, or God is outside. Parabhakti is both are one. The object and the subject both are one. That turns into very purified love. That's the most purified form of love. That is what is called unconditional love. You cannot have unconditional love with outside. Remember this. This is a tip I'm telling you. How much ever you tried, you might have glimpses of unconditional love, but you can't sustain that unconditional love because it's exterior. The law of duality says that if you want to have something, you got to interact with that externally. Like if there is a laptop here, I got to interact. I am the doer on this. I have to operate this thing, particular thing. There is a conditions applied. Whenever we both have to interact, the laptop and me, there is a condition applied. There are many factors and conditions that make our operations successful. Without that condition, the success cannot be fulfilled. Like for example, I tried opening this, the camera was not opening. There are certain conditions in this which I have to apply to it. I have to apply to it, then only it will work. It's a condition. So anything that you objectify outside, anything is not pure love. We may call it, we may term it, we may think it is love, unconditional love. It's not. You have a master, you have a temple, you have a God whom you go to visit. You want to go in the vicinity, physical vicinity. Why? There is a condition. 101% there is a condition. You'll say, no, there is no condition. I just want to feel the love of that. If you want to feel, you can feel it from your home also. Why do you need to go near? Going near means there is an interactive process. An interactive process will always have conditions. And where there is conditions, it's not unconditional love. It is not pure love. So, the object and the subject, when it is one, there is no going, there is nothing, it's within. The God is within, everything is within. So, you need not even ask. Asking is, again, dual. When you ask, there is an answer. It is two. Here, there is no asking, you are just being in that space. If the God or Guru is within you, you are being in that space. And whatever you think is known to that subtle presence. And whatever is happening to that subtle presence is known to you. This is what I call as question and answers. You don't have two there. It is just one. It is just an awareness. You are aware of the subtle presence and what is happening in the subtle presence within you. And that subtle presence which is within you is aware of what is happening within you. So it is just awareness. You are aware of your master's presence. You are aware of the God's presence. There is no give and take. There is no even dialogue. There is no even talking. Many people think, oh, it's within. My guru is within, my God is within, so I need to sit down and meditate and go within and then start blah 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 blah. How are you? I'm so nice, I'm missing you so much. No, absolutely not. Where there is missing, there is Dvaita. This is what I'm calling practical spirituality. Spirituality will just tell you, do this, go within and find God. Practical spirituality is going within and being with God, not finding, because if you go to find, there is two again. So there are only two modes in Advaita, in duality, in non-duality. The two modes is, one is the ignorant mode and the other is aware mode. So one is the ignorance where my drishti has come out, my whole focus has come out. So when the whole focus has come out, I am in a living dualistic world. It's Dvaita. We must understand. And Dvaita means ignorance. See, so many things happen. The moment your projection goes out, then you start thinking. Then you start thinking how to connect. Then you start thinking, I got to go to the temple. Then you see the time. And then you see, will there be rush? There's so many things, So many things you got to deal with. Conditions apply. Up and down it goes on happening. But just imagine, you are in the dual space. And from that ignorance, you just shift. That is a switch. You just shift into within. That is what I call shifting into awareness. There is a space that is just aware. The space is just aware. I would request you to be in a state of awareness right now. If you are doing anything or if you are distracted with your mobiles or something else, just drop it for a while, because these are few moments that you actually get to spend time with yourself. Spend these moments with yourself. It will be very, very benefiting. It will be very, very beneficial for you. I don't know if I keep this little closer. There's a delay actually, when I'm talking. This is what the screen I see is almost like 30 seconds delay. So I don't know exactly live what I'm speaking here. Okay, and if you have any questions or anything, I think I'll keep it in the end, so that regarding only this, we are not talking anything else. Let us not bring out any other, because we lose focus. At the end of this discussion, you can just post whatever doubts you have, so that we can clarify. And every Sunday, I think, if we go on this kind of a practice, you go deeper and deeper. So that you start living in awareness, and then whatever you do. Yesterday somebody was asking me, how can sadhana bring me awareness? How can my meditation practice bring me awareness? Because I do a lot of sadhana and I love doing it, the meditation, and I enjoy good bliss and all, but I would like to have awareness. So how can that meditation practice that I am doing bring me awareness? See the catch there, that I am doing. So I just told briefly that the doing. I'll put it here, Malaji. I thought it's actually bursting the sound, so I had kept. I think so. Now it should be very clear to you. Okay. Okay. So the catch there is the doing. Whenever you do, remember this. Doing is dualistic mode. Doing takes you away from awareness. Remember this always. It's a catch, because awareness, what we are talking, is not a philosophical term. It's an experiential term, which is what I want to get deep and try to make you experience it, rather than make you understand it. My idea is not to make you understand what is awareness. My idea is to make you experience what is awareness, because when you experience, you know, the knowing. So the more you do, you are away from awareness. That is what I said. We spend 1 hour in trying to do meditation, in trying to do sadhana, because there is a doer, because there is an I want to do it.
So you are taking responsibility, cutting off from everything around you and saying that this identity that I call as me, this I wants to do this particular thing. So now I am going to do what? I am going to put efforts, obviously. So it is a self-effort. It is the effort of the ego consciousness that is trying to do something. You do something to prove something. Prove something to yourself also. That no, today is now is my time for meditation. I have to do this and I have to prove to myself that I am a good spiritual being. Very subconscious this is. I got to prove that I got to prove to others that I'm on the path. So I have to do because I am told to do. But the doing will not take you there. The being will take you there. For being in that space of meditation, for being, see, the word is being. Being means hona, just being there. You'll think how being there will happen, how can I just be there without anything? No, you're dead without just being there physically. When I say being, I mean you are being physically there, you are being mentally there, you are being spiritually there. When all these three beings come together is what you call as being aware. You become aware of that presence. You become aware that there is something like this person sitting here. See, watch my words. When I was trying to say, it did not even come. There is me sitting here. There is this person sitting here. Because you almost shift into the soul. You're going to the soul, and the soul will never say, I am sitting here. The soul does not identify with this. Are you getting it? Or see, even the vocabulary changes when you are actually going into that space. So when you are sitting in awareness, you are aware that this body is sitting. You are aware that these subtle bodies are sitting around with you. You are aware that there's a world also around it. In meditation, when we try to do, we try to shut out everything and then we come to try to force ourselves within. In awareness, you don't force anything. You are aware of everything. You are aware that you are sitting in a certain space. You are aware that there is a room around you. You are aware that there is a world around that room. You are aware of everything, but you pull back. That awareness is not of the mind. See this. One is thinking that you are sitting in the body, thinking that around the body there is a room, and thinking that there is a house and there is a society around, there is a whole world, thinking, oh, there is a world outside. I'm not talking about thinking. Thinking again is a mind activity because it begins thoughts. This awareness is thoughtless, but knowing. Not thinking, knowing. Now the same example you see, you know that you are sitting. You know that you have subtle bodies. You know that there is space in the room. You know there is a room around you. You know there is a house around this room. You know there is a whole locality around this house. You know there is a world around this locality. Can you see that? Just be with me when I am talking. Just be with me and go into that experiential space while we do this. So this has to come into your awareness. So you can see the difference. We are not thinking that there is a world. We are just knowing, we are becoming aware that there is something there. See, what is the difference? When you think, you are directly interacting with every thought. You are personally involved. Your energy, your focus, everything goes with every thought. Oh, I am here. Oh, my father is moving there. Oh, there's a cat moving there. Oh, somebody is honking there. When you say somebody is honking there, and if you are thinking about it, you will say, is that a bike or is that a car? Oh, it must be a car. What kind of a car? See, the thoughts have gone somewhere because you are engaged with that thought. This is a very subtle difference that you need to catch very carefully. And if you are right now very careful, listening in awareness, you will be able to catch what I am trying to tell you. So that's the catch of thinking. Here what we are doing, we are becoming aware. When you are aware that somebody is walking, but you don't care. You are aware that something is honking, you can hear it, but you don't care.
See, there is a disconnection. You know, you are aware of every noise, everything that around you, the presence of everything around you, but you don't care. Why? You are disconnected with it. This is called the drishta bhav or the sakshi bhav. Are you getting it? Drishta bhav or a sakshi bhav. You are only witnessing, you are not involved. Why people get confused is, how to go into sakshi bhav. This is how you need to go. If you go with your mind into sakshi bhava, it will be a problem. Many people try to do with the mind. They say, okay, let me witness this, let me not do anything, and they'll be thinking. They'll be thinking, oh, there's a car going there, and no, I don't want to do. I just want to witness. You cannot witness when you're thinking, because the moment you think, there is an action and reaction there. You say there is a car, immediately a question will come up from there. What kind of a car is this? Immediately a question will come back, how many people are sitting in the car? Immediately another question will come back, what is the intention of those people? Immediately another will come, why are they going there? See, continuously the thoughts will be pouring things to you, one after the other. And if you are thinking, you get engaged in answering every question. And that is not also the perfect answer. How many people are sitting in this? You will answer, maybe 4. Again a response will come. It doesn't look like 4, it looks crowded, might be more. Oh, then how many people? How many people are sitting in this? Another question. Why are so many people going there into that house? Or maybe there is a function. See, you are trying to justify that there is a function there. It will say, no, for function, why do you need such a crowd? What kind of a function can there? Oh, could it be a naming ceremony? See, the dialogues will start. Naming ceremony, there are so many people, hundreds of people come. Why will only 10 people come? Then what can be for the 10 people? Maybe it is for some conversation. Immediately question will come, what kind of conversation could that be? And it could be, maybe it is this. See, this is how in that maybe you go on and on and on. The thought goes in that vicious circle. Continuously engaged in that conversation. And imagine the mind is not thinking one particular thought. That was about the car, I am telling you. And we are supposed to be sakshi. We are thinking we are sakshi because we are not talking anything. No, the mind is completely having dialogue with it. There is no sakshi there. And this is not enough. That happened just, and suddenly the doorbell rings in your room. Suddenly the whole focus turns into the doorbell. Who could it be? Might be it is the courier guy. Dialogue from there. But I didn't order a courier. It goes there, and there it could be somebody in the family. Me. Who could it be in this family? Who would want anything? Maybe it's your sibling. What does my sibling want right now? Oh, yesterday that person was telling me he wanted this or she wanted this. Maybe it is that. You can see it is endless. And then suddenly something else will come. This is what happens when we think we are in sakshi mode. We're not in sakshi mode. Why? Because the whole awareness, please understand this, the awareness is not in your being, but it is in your manomaya kosha. It is in your mind body, the whole awareness. And wherever you put your awareness, consciousness is aware of that. Interaction begin there. Wherever you put your attention, suddenly you put your attention on the car, the whole awareness goes on that subject. Everything else darkens out. Only that. And then you begin and then something has to distract you, then you move. This is the play of the mind. To get out of this is why we need to shift from this consciousness, body or ego consciousness, to that awareness. What is that awareness? That pure awareness that we are in. That space when you enter, you're seeing the same car. You're aware. A car is coming. Khatam. You see that car, that's it. You are least bothered. What is that car? What color is it? How many people are? You won't go till there because you are aware, thinking. You are not judging it. When you don't judge it, you don't have an opinion. The moment you throw an opinion, it goes from the mind. Opinion is of the mind, not of the awareness. Awareness sees it, and if the mind is active, it shifts there and the mind throws an opinion. Oh, the car with so many people. Then the dialogue begins. But if you are
disconnected with that mind. How do you disconnect? When you are centered in your awareness, you are not in your mind. I'll talk to you what this awareness is about. So when you're centered in that awareness, automatically you, what did I say? Where you put your focus, there is light, illumination. Where it is not, there is darkness. So when you're centered in your awareness, your being, the illumination takes place in the being. The darkness is in the mind. There is no light there. If there is no light in the mind, you cannot function. The mind cannot function there. As simple as that. So when you're centered in your being and you're just aware, there's a car coming, that's it. Next, doorbell ring, you're aware, that's it. You're not connected, you're not identified, you're not engaged. Not even that thought, let us say a thought goes, ding dong, bell rings, and suddenly your mind reacts. Who could it be? Means an aware person, a practitioner of awareness will know that, oh, I've skipped out with that one thought. It is possible. And the moment you become, if you are really aware, you will also become aware that I've slipped into the mind because the mind has reacted. You will become, that is awareness. So the moment you become awareness, who is that at the doorbell? You don't entertain the further discussion that is coming from there. It might come also. Oh, it could be a courier person. Least bothered. You have shifted back into awareness. You are cut off from there. You won't believe if you practice this very simple technique with even your eyes open. Why I say do it regularly? Because the more you do it, the more it will become you. You don't have to then put effort. What people talk is always effort. I got to do this. Enough of doing. Just shift. Because when you shift into that space, that center of awareness, the doing is not you, the doer is not you. Something else does through you. Please understand this secret. It's the secret which nobody will tell you. Because if you get this, you're done. You don't need anything else outside. So everybody is scared. The whole world is scared to tell you deep secrets, because then what is their use? They need presence, right? Please understand this very, very carefully. If you practice this and this becomes a part of you, then please know, in awareness you don't operate. The I consciousness, the false I, the one with the identities, because the moment you shift into that identities, it is ego consciousness. And ego is filled with lot of things. Our samskaras, our karma, so many things are there. Everything will come into play. Your karma, your mind, your samskaras, your vasanas, everything will start playing a havoc on the mind. Because mind is a playground for everything. Use that playground to put awareness, to invest awareness. When you put light into your mind, see this. What did I say? Ignorance is darkness. Ajnanata. That is darkness. It is filled with all this muck of samskaras, tendencies, bad thoughts, ill thoughts and all that. So that is keeping your mind occupied. Now when you focus your light of awareness on the mind illumines. What did I say? There is illumination wherever you focus. And where there is illumination, how can there be darkness? So everything else stays apart. So that playground which is there, you are using to keep your awareness into that. So the rest of the thing disappear. Where do they go? Are they gone? No, they are not gone. Karma cannot go. It is a part of you. It returns back to where it came from. Where did it come from? Some other kosha. A rather subtle body. I am talking about a mind body. You don't have to actually think where is my kosha, mind body, and then put my awareness. No. You just become aware. All these things will happen simultaneously. Where it has to go, awareness will go there. It will go into the mind body only. Because the mind will get illumined. When I say don't react and just observe a thought, what is happening? You are in the mind body. When thoughts are coming to you, when you are closed your eyes and the bell is ringing, what is coming to you? Is that a courier person? That's a thought. That's not reality. There's a mind which is giving a thought. So if you are not engaged in it through awareness, you are not connected to the thought itself. And the thought vanishes. That is what I mean by when light is there, any darkness comes, it vanishes. It has to turn into light. Now where do these things go? Or why do vasanas? There are so many vasanas and all that. They don't, you see, during your meditation time or when you are deeply connected, do you have lust? Do you have feeling of anger? Do you have, nothing is there. There is only a kind of good feeling, a niceness. Why? Where have all they gone? Have anger and lust and greed and jealousy and selfishness, have they all just vanished? They have not gone. Only they have not entered into the space because there is too much light. The enemy is still there. They are hidden in your Jnanamaya Kosha. They are there. Until you learn to expand your awareness more and more, I won't go into that. That is what I call as higher awareness and all that. This much is enough. The grass, when you keep practicing on the grass, because when you expand in higher awareness, even into your other intellects, into your Jnanamaya Kosha, even the karma and all that becomes very aware, awakened. They become unfunctional. It's just like an animal. A wild animal is coming in a dark forest and you take a big torch and you hit the flashlight on the face, it will freeze. Animal will freeze. It cannot do anything. Because that is why they use the light, because light stuns the animal. So karma is also stunned by your awareness. It will not eradicate it. It will not kill the lion. It will not kill the tiger, but it will freeze it. Freeze its attack on you. Are you getting this clear? So why are we doing this practice? Because the overwhelming attack of thoughts and karma and everything is so overwhelming. I've had these personal sessions with so many of you. We were telling I'm unable to even think. I'm shrouded by all these problems and so many challenges. I cannot do my sadhana. I cannot do. How can you do? Because when the doer is there, I want to do my sadhana. There is a doer, and if there is a doer, there is a mind, active mind. There is no light of awareness in that. You are sitting with your mind that is filled and polluted with all those thoughts. And when do they come? Because you are engaged in something, they won't come. The moment you sit idle and try to focus is when they get a chance to rush, and they will rush into your mind. So when you don't need it is the time when they flood and you become helpless. You can't get into meditation. There's only way to freeze that lion and tiger, through awareness. Why do you freeze it? Even if you are not making it disappear, it's okay. But you're freezing it for the moment so that you can do what is important at that time. That's why I say during sadhana, during meditation, awareness is very important. I'm not aware why it has not been taught, but it is very, very important. This is how I have researched my life and I have seen how it acts on, and where I am unable to do, and that is why I am teaching people. It will help. I don't say you change your path and nothing. Do whichever path you do, but do it with full awareness. Make use of awareness. Whose awareness? Not my. This is not my copyright. You have awareness. I am trying to awaken that awareness within you. It's a wrong term when we say you have awareness. But for these sessions and all, it's okay. Let us use, because you will not understand. If I say you are awareness, how am I awareness? How can I be awareness? And then where am I in this? All those things will come. That in deeper awareness sessions, we can have that. That's very deep. I mean, when you start moving into that deep awareness is when you start actually talking about the self. You cannot talk about the self when your mind body and your intellect body is very active. It's very difficult to even get into that mode of self-realization. That is why this knack we have to realize, and self-realization is not difficult. It's not as it is projected, you got to do. It is because the whole world is operating through this mind to do something. So it is very difficult. You need years of so and so practice, because years you are battling with your mind. You are killing all the demons. Yourself, because I have taken responsibility. The I is separate. Doer, I am the doer. So when you are the doer, nobody will interfere. That's a free choice. If you say, oh Lord, I am the doer, let me do my meditation, let me do my prayers, let me do my practices. The Lord will say, okay, do my dear child, do. I am not going to interrupt, you do it. You are so confident of yourself, do. And then you struggle alone. And then finally you say, I am feeling alone. I am feeling disconnected. Nobody is connected. Nobody is bothering about me. Nobody is worried. The path is not bothered. The master is not. They are all bothered. But you have not caught it in the right way. God is not bothered. Of course they are bothered. They say, you only said, I'll handle it. So that change that phrase in the mind of that doership. I'm doing sadhana. I have to do sadhana. I have to do meditation. Because the more, you might say it is harmless. What big deal? It is a big deal. That is why I'm talking hours of videos on the same subject. If it was not important, I wouldn't have talked on it. It is very important because people, this is a small thing. That small thing is what becomes your big obstacle. If you are not aware. So change that approach. What I'm saying is not change your practice or path or master, nothing. I'm just telling change your perspective, the way you have been viewing things, and then now you are having a different view of it. Your approach is different. Your mentality is different. The way you approach those practices are different. And I'm telling you, so easy it becomes because when you say I'm doing and everything shuts off, you cut off from everything. Instead of that, you just say, let me get meditative. Let me float into that and let me throw myself into that beingness, into that awareness. Let me become aware. Let awareness take over and see what happens. Because when you say these words, consciously or unconsciously, you are giving permission to that divine presence to do it. Whatever tattva it is. Even the Guru Tattva, the Guru Mandala, the God Tattva, the Source God, whatever you call it, even if you don't believe in God, there is an infinite cosmic intelligence which you will agree is much, infinite times much smarter than this limited intelligence. It knows. It is functioning the whole world. The whole cosmos, for example. You can't fathom how intelligent it is. Just look at a blade of grass. One blade of grass. The texture that it has, the color that it has, the shape that it has, the form that it has. The small hairy structure on one blade of grass. It is countless. Every hair is alive. Every hair in that is alive. It is alive because it is getting nourishment and it is connected to a certain root in that. And the water that comes from the rain goes into the mud, into the grass, into the earth, even if it is summer. And the same earth allows that water to reach the vegetation and the roots pull it out. I am talking about one blade of grass. One blade of grass. There is so much life on that. Imagine one bunch of grass has so many grass. And you imagine a field, how many grass. You imagine now your playground. Imagine now your whole state. Imagine the whole country, how much is there. Imagine in the whole world, how much is there. Earth. Can't fathom it. Infinite number of species are born in this vegetation. Infinite number of animals, birds, reptiles, and still undiscovered. You go into the oceans, there are millions still not discovered. Everything has an intelligence of its own and everything has a life of its own and it's automated. And all species are different from each other. Human beings different from each other. Look at your body. Whole body, who's functioning it? You just imagine the whole doership that we take. If you just take for a moment, if you say, give me permission, I am running this body, let me run this body. You imagine what will happen. Very next few seconds you will go mad. You will go crazy. Because the human body, right now you are sitting with your body, you just become aware of the functions of your body and see, you don't even know what your body is doing. You're not even aware. You are alive because of those functions. Your every gland is functioning in a certain way. The bloods are functioning. Every blood has certain cells. And every cell has microscopic view. You go and see in that the whole life that is taking place in every cell. Every cell is fully active and perfectly functioning its duty. And you have millions of cells. And millions of cells are dying every moment, every second. Millions of cells are birthing itself every second. And they all know what to do despite being new cells. Imagine your lungs breathing. The kind of activity that is involved right from your nose to your lungs and not that just there. How that Oxygen converts itself from the gas forms and goes into your bloodstreams, which is transported throughout the whole body. Your every organ, imagine it, every single organ. Become aware while I'm speaking this. Every single organ, the brain, the eyes. One thing you take, the eyes. Can anybody make one eyes? How much ever intelligence they have? One eye can be created. Just as nature has created it so brilliantly. And all these things, what we are calling, so beautifully arranged, the whole retina, how the light is reflecting back and goes and hits the optic nerves, and from there the signal is sent to the brain, and the brain now perceives what you are seeing. Your brain is now perceiving what your eardrums are ringing, why voice is reaching you. You know the kind of activity that's happening right now. The eardrums are banging, and every tone is converting into a certain frequency of signal. That signal is entering and going, reaching our brain. Your brain is intercepting it. Okay, this way, if it is sounding, this is the word and the meaning behind that. And when you connect to that meaning, you are connected to the awareness of that, and with that awareness is giving you a feeling. Can you imagine this? The whole process, can you imagine what's happening? Billions of people. Imagine everybody is undergoing some certain, automated thing, that in the being, the aliveness that's happening. Can you see how majestic this is? How impossible it is to even fathom it. Now tell me, do you feel I can be the doer of this body? Just now, we went very deep into this subject. Whole thing we went into. We are even aware that there's thoughts, there's mind, and all those things are there. How the thought comes, everything comes. It is all automated. You're not doing anything. See, there is storage of karma in certain places. You are not doing anything. It's been stored in your bodies. You are not even aware what kind of karma it is. You are not even aware which is dropping right now, which has become active right now, which is becoming product. What kind of activity is right now active in my life? You don't know anything. The whole mind, whole function. Forget the mind and emotions. Just I'm talking to you just about the physicality. Just imagine the physicality. Everything, just observe in your mouth, the whole mouth, the activity that is going on. You can't imagine what the saliva is doing, how it is keeping you intact, and how the same saliva goes till the end of the digestion process it is involved. Minutely, everything is put together. Then only we have something called a human life. One thing you take out of it, the kind of havoc the whole system will physiologically it will have. One thing. Suppose just say your salivary gland stops secreting saliva, you're gone. Your whole digestion will affect. A person can die without that, proper process. It's so important that one particular thing is. And the kind of armies that you have, the antibodies that you have. The way every moment there's a war going on in the cells. Infections intruding and they are fighting it out without whose permission. We are not even aware of. This is a Kurukshetra that's going on. All the time there is wars, Your white blood cells are all active, doing their duty, their dharma, without even asking your permission, without asking your approval, but it's functioning. Independence, intelligence. Do you think this is our intelligence? This is not my intelligence. Because there is something that is taking care. Who is taking care of this? Now comes the question. That's the divine intelligence. That is what I am referring to as cosmic intelligence. You call it God or you call it cosmic intelligence. That is functioning. So when you become aware of this majestic thing called life, just in my whole body, if I see, there is a whole universe happening in this. So imagine, can you fathom what's happening in this whole world? How everything is interrelated with each other. Can you just imagine how perfectly every planet is on the orbit? Not a second or a millimeter of difference from their accurate orbit. If they even move 1 millimeter, the whole thing will crash against each other. 1 millimeter, I'm saying. Anything that has a diversion here, it may be just 1 millimeter here, but as it moves, it creates havoc. It's the big difference. So can you see that cosmic intelligence which is keeping everything imperfect. That is why I always say, in this chaos that you see in this world, in this chaos is a divine order. Always. Do not look at the chaos, because even in that chaos there is some divine order. It looks chaotic because here we are chaotic. The moment you shift into awareness, all these things, this is what I'm telling. When you are a practitioner of awareness, this is what you should explore, what I just now said. I keep exploring all these things. Because when you explore and when we are awed, when you're just awed by this magnificent creation and the creator, you humble yourself. Where are you in this? Where is the I in this? Automatically you become insignificant when you see the exponential thing. This is one way to humble ourselves. This is one way to leave that doership, I am going to do sadhana. Who am I to sit and do that? I don't even know ABCD of that. Can I now say I am the doer? I take care of this body. I help in taking care of the body. Help whom? That cosmic intelligence. That is my only participation. And very negligible help it is. What do? I feed it. That's all. I feed it and I give it water, fluids. That's all. If I don't do that intelligently, the whole system can go. So the only option, that limited option that I have, is I take care of this in limited ways. I eat good. I drink good. I exercise. I give it exposure. And then that's the physical limitations that I can do. Limitly I can do this. Is the only thing that I can do. As a doer, this is my only thing. As a mind, the only thing that I can do about the mind is what? Become aware of it. Be careful what to entertain, what not to entertain. That is the only discernment that I have. So the viveka has been given to you. The keys of the viveka has been given to you. That is the only doership that you have. The only doership is to become aware and choose between right and wrong. Constant discrimination is going on in the intellect all the time. Every moment of your life you have choices, and you are making choices. You are choosing every moment. Like you are here, you chose. It's a choice. You can be here in this session or you don't. If you choose yes, you are here. And whatever has to benefit you in this way, it benefits. If you are not here, even if this doesn't benefit you, something else might benefit you. It goes on. There are permutations and combinations all the time, every moment. I wish to wear this, my choice. I could have worn something else, but I choose to eat this. The choice is your free will, and that's your limited intelligence. That is your free will. So what I am saying is, whenever we do something, sadhana, whatever we do, only use the free will as an ignition, not as the complete process. So yes, I got to do sadhana. Yes, it's my time. That's my doership. I go and sit there. Oh, what do? I need to sit. I need to settle my body. That's my responsibility. Settle my body and settle my mind. That's my only thing. If I don't do that, I cannot go further. But once I settle it down, I hand over the keys to the divine will. So free will turns into divine will. Then the doership is gone. Then it is, I am sitting here, you do. The cosmic force knows what better to do. I just turn into the awareness mode and become aware and allow whatever, like I allow my body and my cells and my internal organs, my digestion, my breathing, my heartbeat, my pulse, everything to operate on its own. I don't do anything. But I am allowing it to happen. If I choose, I cannot allow. If I choose, no, this body should not continue, I stop my breath. I hang myself. I cut off the breath. I don't eat, I fast until death. It will happen. So those are only choices that you have. Doership. How do you choose the right doership? Proper intellect. If the intellect is purified, only the right choices will come to you. And these methods of awareness, I told you, awareness works directly on your buddhi. The more you are in awareness, the more you are in that light of that divine consciousness, and you are centered. You are in the space of that intellect all the time. And the more you give light to your intellect, your viveka, it is purified. All the impurities go, and slowly you'll see only the Viveka will only show you only that is for your highest good. Why does Viveka show you? Because there is a certain amount of doership to be done. That Viveka tells you, I shouldn't eat this food. It is going to be harmful for me. Only if it is purified. If it is clouded, it will say, eat everything. Are you getting it? Are you getting the advantages of being in that awareness? This is what scientifically the awareness does. You will not find this anywhere because I have not read this. This is what my awareness has shown me. Even there, you will not find it anywhere that awareness works on your intellect. It's not there. I'm not reading from the books. I'm seeing it exactly from my life and how the things are working. You will be able to see a lot of things. Provided you keep that awareness. You allow the awareness. That's more. See, allowing, it is allowing. It's allowing something more superior. The cosmic, I just give you an example from the the blade of grass. Just see what the cosmic intelligence does. So, if it is handling the whole cosmos, why do we have to think that it cannot handle this limited being? So, when you spread your awareness into all this, the humbleness comes down there. You will come to know you are good for nothing. You are useless beings. We are not very. We call ourselves very intelligent. The scientists and all that. If you see, they call ourselves very intelligent and we know everything, and their knowing is the problem. Because they are knowing, they try to take the cosmic intelligence and they try to control the cosmic intelligence. If you see, science and advanced science is trying to control the cosmic intelligence. It tries to defy a lot of things which is very natural. Like creating a human clone, for example. It's trying to tell that, I am not less than you, the cosmic intelligence. I can create another human being. We'll try it. It will be a disaster. It may look very appealing, but over the period of time, the consequences of that outcomes are different. So, when one understands the limitedness in the doership, in the free will, they will know that. We are not told this because we are told that we can enormously go on creating. There's no end to it. And I'm telling you, there's no end to creations. There's no end because creation is desires. There is no end to desires. You cannot end desires. And that is one reason I wanted this, this space here, because people who are too desirous and too much into materialism will never understand this funda. You can never understand what I'm talking here. Because the mind doesn't want to understand it. Maybe we are come here for this session so that we can benefit something in your worldly life. I don't know. I'm not sure. I will not encourage anyone for that. Because then I would have advertised it, you do this and you'll, with your this, in higher awareness, you can conquer the world and you can achieve this, you can have children and this is the way you manifest. It's all nonsense. That's not heading towards self-realization. That's not heading towards the self. You talk to any mystics who are beyond this world dimensions, who have gone towards the Atma Bodha. If you who have walked towards the soul realization, the self-realization, none of them have had materialistic stuff in their head while they were attaining it. Do your research. It is a myth if I say you are attaining self-realization with all the worldly desires. You cannot, because that will be your biggest obstacle in realizing the self. Self is within. Desires are outside. How you can either be outside or inside. How can I realize and be with myself when I still have that desire to own a car or to marry that girl or boy? My whole time, my senses, indriyas will be outside. Because all the time is hunting for something from outside to fulfill that desire. So when it is outside, it cannot be inside. You can only choose to shift into awareness or shift into ignorance. Not shift, drift into ignorance. There are only two ways. So the more serious you become on this path, you have to understand this intense desire to go within should be. I'm not saying overnight you will just turn within and everything outside will go. No. It is a casual process, but if you are not aware of this thing, that you will end up your life, and when your end of life is nearing, you'll say that nothing has happened.
Still all these things are in front of me. Still my whole senses are outside. Still I have craving for that food, this desire. Still I have craving and all these deadly attachments. I am unable to withdraw from my loved ones, my loved things in this earth, my possessions. It has taken me a lifetime to create all these things. How can I just live it? Suffering is immense, dear ones, I'm telling you. At that moment, suffering is very intense. The inability, the helplessness to withdraw from the world at a later stage, the suffering is intense. You do your research and find out people who are suffering in that. You study the people who are on their deathbeds. You see the Harvards and all only are publishing the most intense thoughts or desires of a dying person. When they go into all these centers, hospitals, they take, they record what is the patient thinking of while they're dying. The topmost thing that was there on a dying patient's mind, and studies have been done, is that they realize that I have not been able to fully live my life the way I wanted to live. That is most of the people's last dying thought. After that comes the attachment. What will happen to this one? What will happen to that one? What will happen to my business? What will happen to my people? All that kind of thoughts while dying. Well, the science has studied this and they have documented it and have reported this. But we on the practitioner side, on the spiritual side, we do understand this is dangerous. Science does not understand dangerous. They don't know what's the difference between a person thinking this or that while dying. They just think, okay, these are the thoughts. But they have no reflection. Can you see? The logic science has no reflection on, okay, if somebody is thinking that this is my biggest, most regret, or I am so connected, how to withdraw. They will not do any reflection on it. They will go in the wrong way again. Like for example, a person is dying and they say, oh, I have not been able to live my life the way I wanted to. Immediately they will put an advertisement saying that do what you want now. Go to the best beach, find best resort, find the best place you can camp, do bungee jumping, do hitchhiking. This is what the worldly people can think of. Okay, I have not lived my fulfillment. That is not fulfillment. Now the dying person doesn't even know what is that fulfillment. He might think, oh, it is that I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But since they have not learned in their whole life, they have not experimented and found out that what they are searching is true happiness and contentment and that peace and fulfillment, which they are trying to find it in a resort or a beach or a car or a relationship or hitchhiking and bungee jumping and all that stuff, or best eatable foods. They are not experimented enough. When they have enough time in their life, when they experiment, they'll see, I have achieved everything. That's why Jim Carrey said, all the peoples in the world should have all the success and glory and wealth, and then because they should realize that this is not it. Jim Carrey said this, one of the richest person of the planet, one of the most highest paid earlier Hollywood actor, who has tasted success. Why do those people? He has turned spiritual because he has had enough time to reflect and he saw that, okay, stardom is not everything. Gaining everything is not everything. Gaining popularity is not everything. Gaining wealth and all the riches is not everything. Because when you gain it, you still find yourself empty. Jim Carrey found himself empty. He was the most depressed person. Tom Hanks, you look at many people who have committed suicide in Hollywood. Most successful people. Very successful people. Even in Indian, successful in popularity, fame, riches, everything is there. Then why can somebody contemplate on dying? Because even after getting that, there is a big disappointment saying that, oh, I have achieved everything, yet I failed to catch that which I am trying to catch. There is a mad rush. If I gain that, I'll get it. And they live their life running behind it. Imagine living a whole life running behind your dreams and finally knowing that this was not it. The kind of education that you do, the kind of extra stuff that you do, the specializations that you do, the kind of experiences you go through, the kind of learnings that you go through, everything that you do, whole life, so much of hard work,
sleepless nights, everything, and then finally when you reach there, you're saying, oh my God, this was not it? What a rude shock. This is why many people disappoint themselves and then they turn inward. Then finally, the cosmic intelligence, this is the divine Leela actually, It makes you thrust outside. It say, go and find out. Find out who you are. This is what Sri Ramana used to always say. Find out who you are. All these things will drop. Just find out who you are. Contemplate, who am I? Who am I? Again and again. Use your discrimination, viveka, atma chintana or atma vichara. Do vichara. Inquiry, it is called the path of inquiry. But unfortunately, everybody cannot enter into that space. Because the more your desires, you cannot get into this space. You see how many people are ready to spend their time in Tiruvannamalai, places like Tiruvannamalai, Kanyanad. They're not. It's a boring place for them. No people there, no fun. A time should come when people and this, we should realize that people and crowd and things won't give you happiness and peace and contentment. It is that isolation, it is that space where I can enter within. So you'll automatically hunt those places which can give you isolation, which can give you peace. Not that mental peace. Oh, let me go away from the crowd and experience little this. There is so much noise here. Here there is no noise. Well, that is the starting stages. As you enter deep, you will go and find such a place where you can easily enter into that stillness. Be in the stillness. Why go into that stillness? Atma Chintana. That is the stage when a person begins the path of contemplation, self-inquiry. I'm telling you, refer your scriptures. I don't have that thing. I'll give you references also where scriptures have told yoga is not the end of self-realization. These are tools that will take you to that place where you can then enter into the final state of Atma Chintan. Because these tools will help you, destroy things and, bring to a space where your emptiness, certain emptiness comes in. But that emptiness is not going to make you realize the self, because that emptiness will begin now in self-inquiry. Where is this self? Who am I? Where am I coming from? There is complete Atma Chintan then. These are the final stages of your before that state. I am not saying this. Many mystics have said, many scriptures have said this. So all the practices that we do not directly give you self-realization. They are tools, they are instruments to lead you to self-realization. But there are phases in that. So this is that phase. You do any kind of tapas and austerity. Even the yogis, you ask the yogis sitting in the Himalayas. I was listening to one of the great Advait speakers today morning only, of the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa order, a great mystic. And he was saying, I went to Himalayas and I saw the yogis who are in deep samadhi. Now there is a samadhi that is attained through yoga, through meditation, through practices and all that. Because when you do this, you become empty and you enter into a state of meditation. Deep meditation. And in that deep meditation begins the contemplation. He said, he asked those yogis and they said, because he said, you people are Advaitins. Because those yogis were Advaitins, pure non-dualistics. But you are doing a dual practice. They said, yes, this will lead us to non-duality. We are sitting here doing our practice, and after a certain stage we enter into that space which is Advaita, and then begins our Atma Chintan, Atma Vichara, contemplation of who am I and who, then you discern that I am not this body. Then you start experiencing, I am not this body, I am not this world, this is separate, this is the self. You start brooding on that, literally. You start living in that space, experiencing that space, and when you experience in that space a deeper samadhi and keep on stretching it, that is what leads you to self-realization. So we should be very clear of these things. So what I am trying to say is, you can always inculcate this habit of chintan, deep contemplation, and contemplation not with the mind. Be very careful. When I am saying contemplation, these yogis who are sitting there, they are not doing with the mind. If they had to do with the mind, they wouldn't have gone and sat in that altitude and done that yogic practice. They had to do that chintan through awareness. To enter into a state of awareness, you got to first remove all these things, that are becoming blockages to you going within that awareness. They know it. Then they can enter into deeper states of awareness when all these obstacles stop. For that they do practices. So they said we do both. We are doing these practices, dualistic practices as well as Advaitic practices. So these are the secrets of the yogis sitting there on the mountain, because nobody will ask them, and they are not going to come down the hill and tell what they are doing. You will only see them sitting with their eyes closed. You don't know what they are doing. So the divine has, if you have that inquiry, if you want that, I exactly landed up in that particular video and where he was exactly talking on that subject just today morning. So I thought maybe that's the will that I should convey this here, because exactly that point it came in, and this is the subject that I am supposed to talk today here. So can you see all these things that I am talking, this thing came, that thing came, the coincidences, synchronicities. Synchronicities do not happen with our intelligence, with our logic. It happens when we give up this logic. How do we give up? We shift from this to divine will. We shift from free will to divine will. When we shift into divine will, we are in a state of connection, and then we are like influenced. We just become instruments. That is why I said I don't plan any of my live, at least, especially. Other videos I know. The thought comes to me, a nudge come out, this I should talk on this. I know, and then I do the talk. In any live I don't, because the starting is my free will. I got to do this live on so and so time. Okay, then I put my doership there. I start doing. I start arranging. This is all the doer. I arrange these instruments. I begin the thing. But once I begin, that's my starter. Once I begin, then I let go of my free will. I don't know then what. Then what has to flow will flow to me. This is what I am giving the example itself. We can do this in our daily lives, in any activity that we do. Begin with the doership, because I have to do something. I have to do my work. I am the doer there. I have to do my homework. I have to drive. There's a doership there. I have to cook food. There's a doership there. But everything starts with that. It's a kickstart. Like we had gone to Avadhuta Siddhappa, and few of my friends, and we were with some time with him, and he's a great mystic. And some certain things happened, and then he sent us away. He said, "Now go." And when we were going, we were three of us, we were going to our car, and suddenly he called from there behind. He had never done that, only in that one trip. He called from behind, "Come in." And then, "Who's the driver of the car?" So my friend was there. I told, "He is the driver." "Hey, come here," he said. And he doesn't talk clear language, so he's like talking something to him in Kannada. And this guy, my friend, never understands Kannada, so he doesn't know Kannada. So I just interrupted politely and said, he doesn't know Kannada. He said to him, and then he said, "You tell him." I said, "Yeah, tell me." Then he said, "When you are driving the car now from here, till the time you reach home, stay connected. Stay connected. Only him, nothing else. Tell him. Nothing else should come in the mind. Only that connection, and you drive. And nothing will happen to you guys. Go," he said. I was shocked, because he never does that. We have all the time gone in car only, but that particular day he said. So there was something, I don't know. He knew it. So to protect from that, he called and he said, "Stay connected. Stay connected. Yogast Kuru Karmani. Stay divinely connected. Do not be distracted by anything else, because if you are distracted with your free will, the ego consciousness, something can happen." So he just gave that message. Tell your friend, driving, you have to be only connected. Do that. And he also added the word, nothing will happen. And he said, till you drive home, till you go home, be in this state. I said, "Yes, Sappa." And I told my friend, in front of him only he said, and he said, "Oh." This is what I mean by divine will. Even while driving our car, you can have a divine will. It's not going into trance, mind you. That's dangerous. You put on a meditation music trance and then you are lost. You lose your body consciousness. No, you are fully functional, but you are driving the car in a state of awareness. You are knowing. What did I say? I'm sitting here. A car, white car comes, how many people come? I'm seeing. Doorbell rings, I see. Somebody is walking in front of me, I'm seeing. But I'm not engaged in any thought pattern in that. So while you're driving your car, you will see people coming. You will see an opposite traffic coming, or where you have to brake. You're doing all those things, but you're not engaged with anything. A car passes. You see it's a beautiful new car. You will not wonder which brand is that and what might be the cost of it. You're gone with that. That's the mind doing it. You're seeing it. Awareness is, you're aware that's a car coming, because awareness will keep you protected also. So it's not losing your body consciousness. This can be done in every activity. This is living life in a state of awareness. The more we practice this, the more conscious we become very consciously living our life, and we keep on expanding this, then it will go into 24/7 and it will go into a state. I'm telling you, if you deepen the practices, it will start moving into the 3 states of consciousness that you have. Every human being has 3 states of consciousness. They are living in these 3 states of consciousness, whether they know it or not. First is the Jagrit Avastha, the awake state. We are awake. I'm awake right now. I'm seeing, I'm interacting, I'm doing my work, everything is there. Where I'm awake, not asleep, awake. This is called the Jagrit consciousness, Jagrit Avastha. After that is this Nidra Avastha. You go to sleep. And then in that sleep you get dreams. That is called Swapna Avastha. So 3 states. One is the waking state, one is the sleeping state where you sleep, and in that sleeping state you get dreams. That is the Swapna Avastha. These 3 states are very common to you and me, everybody who is living on this earth. They don't, even if we are not aware. We live only in these 3 states of consciousness. These are consciousness states. While you are Jagrit, you are a different state of consciousness. While you are sleeping, you are a different state of consciousness. While you are in the Swapna, it's a different state of consciousness. So all these 3 states of consciousness, you are passing. Now if you are aware, if you are a person who is aware, in the Jagrit, what I am talking from morning today is being Jagrit in your morning, in your daily living time, Jagrit, when you are awake. You are using your awareness to guide your awake state. That means you are fully present in the Jagrit state. If you practice this enough again and again, you will start seeing that this awareness automatically is being transferred to your sleep state also. That means when you are sleeping also, this awareness becomes heightened. Right now also it is there, but you are not aware of it. Right now when you sleep, you are dead. You don't have any idea of who you are, what's your name, you are not even having your body. You don't even know that you have a body, you have a mind, nothing, you are just dead. But the awareness will tell you that you are sleeping. And when will you know it? When will you know it? When will you know it? I'm sorry, I got distracted by the cat. So in the sleep, when will you know that you are aware? Because when you wake up in the morning, you will say, I didn't have a good sleep. Or you will say, I slept like a log. Beautiful sleep. Very, very rejuvenating, refreshing. Now, if you are really absent, if you are really dead, who is that gave you that experience that it was a nice sleep? That means you are aware of your sleep state also. You don't have memories of it. You don't remember it because the mind was sleeping. The mind was inactive during that sleep, but consciousness was active. The consciousness was aware of itself that it's in this sleep state. The same consciousness when you wake up, if you have a good amount of awareness, that same awareness will tell you, because it has come from that state. It has passed through the sleeping state. Now in the awake state, that same consciousness will become conscious of something that was in the sleep, and then you say it was a beautiful sleep. I had a very deep sleep, very rejuvenating. Or it was a disrupted sleep. See, the people who say I didn't have a good sleep, they might not even remember how they did not have a good sleep. But there is awareness, certain awareness. What does that mean? That means the pure awareness that you are, the soul conscious. The soul is alive and active and aware at all times. Jagrat times, we have to put our attention, we have to shift into attention all the time, shift into awareness, shift into awareness. You have to consciously do it and then become aware, okay, there is awareness also. You got to practice. But in sleep time, we don't have that option. Sleep time, what decides our awareness is how beautiful you practice during the Jagrita Avastha. So slowly you will start becoming conscious of your sleep. And if it heightens and if it starts increasing, then there is an awareness even while sleeping. There will be a consciousness that will be aware that I am sleeping. I can't explain it. I don't have this often, but I get glimpses of it. The awareness will be aware that I am sleeping. I, the pure consciousness, is sleeping. But no reaction, nothing, just the witnessing. It is witnessing its sleep mode. And the same awareness, when it passes on to the Swapna Avastha, that is during the dream state, whatever happens in the dream, you become very conscious of that in awareness. You don't react. Why? Because your Jagrata Avastha, you have practiced being in awareness and you are not reactive, you are not judgmental, you are not giving opinions, you are not indulging in that world. You have just Sakshi Bhava. So that same practice will take you into sleep, make you a Sakshi there also. Same awareness will take you into Swapna Avastha, that is dream consciousness, and whatever content is happening in the dream, there also you will be a Sakshi. There will be a strange awareness. You will know that I am the dreamer. This what is happening is not real. You will know this is a dream. It's a strange phenomena. I forgot what the terminology they call for that sleep, that dream state, where you actually control. The Western world is more advanced. I have heard of this actually from my Western friends 20 years back, before coming into any spiritual path. They used to talk of this very high. It was a very strange group. That is why I still have affinity with all my Western friends. And they don't interact. They are not Facebook guys. They will not come and open. They are very hidden people, very silent people. So whenever I am interacting with them, whenever I am with them, I feel elated. I spend a lot of time with them. And Westerners, we should not think that they are very this and only Eastern, since our tradition is very big. No. They have mysticism which is very powerful in the West also. Very mystical things happen there. In a different terminology, in a different way. Almost the same thing only, what we are expressing here and what we experience here. But there also, their ideology, their terminology is different, but the experiences are the same. So these were the people who talked those days about, I am telling you, those days means, I am talking about year 2001. In 2001, there were people talking about fifth dimension and fourth dimension states of awareness. And there were people who were traveling in that. Fifth dimensional. We have never heard it until this 5-6 years or maximum 10 years back. Now it's very common. These people in 2001, and they were very senior, so I believe they were like 10 years old, 10-15 years old. They have been doing before that. So I'm talking something like late 80s. Fifth dimension, these people are aware. Not aware, they had experiences walking in and out of those dimensions. I don't know, divine will something. They threw me in, and those days they were Yahoo group. We used to have Yahoo group. So I was part of these, and I used to just like a child watch these people talk about it, demonstrate it, and do things there. Even live healings used to take place there. And I was like, and that was the first time I remember I got a hint of what healing is. Because I was undergoing something and I saw that people were healing each other and all in the group only, chat things happening and talking big things, all very subtle and very metaphorical stuff, metaphysical things. So I told somebody, I am having this kind of a problem. Immediately 2 seniors came there and they said, do you want us to send you some healing? I didn't know what is it, because I was only knowing about prayers those days. Prayers and all, because I was a Christian. I said, what's that? I thought they were going to pray or something.
I said, okay. So I thought they will get together and pray or something. There were two of them, seniors. I remember one was from Australia. And both of them were feminines, elderly. So they said, just sit quiet and just be attuned to yourself. That's all. So I sat there, and this was my late office hours. After my office hours at 8 o'clock or something, nobody was there in the whole office. I was alone. I was the last person going, and I sat there, and suddenly a current, electric current. It hit from my top to my bottom. Whole body just shivered as though lightning went in. I was scared. I thought, what is this? Is this some kind of voodoo stuff or and all that? So, and they were very kind, very compassionate. They were even communicating from there. Did you feel anything? I said, yes, I felt this. They were very quiet. They were very humble. They did not say, yay, something happened. They just said, okay, cool down. You'll be fine. And they said, just wait for some minutes. And I was there. And then, nothing. I couldn't feel anything. I was just there in that state. But I felt elevated. Now I can tell that that day I can just remember what happened. I felt a very elevated state, very deep state of this. Now I can understand what is that. Consciousness had risen. Somebody else had influenced my consciousness with permission. That's humility. That's real spirituality. They didn't intrude into anybody. They asked for my permission first. Can we do this? Can you take this in this manner? I said yes. Then they transferred that energy. That was my first ever experience in my very young days what healing can be and how can energy transmission take place. Something somewhere from Australia, and they were in some vortex. They were talking about vortexes, going in and out of vortex. They were literally like people who were moving in. Their astral bodies were moving out, in and out. Physically they were there, but they were doing their astral activities. Mystical things. So this is the time I learned, oh my God, the world is very advanced. It doesn't, and these are very hidden people. They will not come out into this. As I'm still in touch with many of such guys who are very mystical and deeply mystical and very, very much reserved to their spaces. I have many on my this also, profiles also, but they are not very active people. All their activity is very withdrawn. So we interact sometimes out of the main profiles and all that in our separations, and it happens. So these states of consciousness is very commonly known even in the West. They know this. They might not say Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha and all. These were people who actually had the power of controlling the dreams. Can you imagine that? They should talk about this. I forgot that there's a term used for that. I don't know. Let me just check. It's a beautiful term. Lucid dreaming. Perfect. It's called lucid dreaming. So this lucid dreaming is a state where in your dream state, the person knows I am dreaming and this dream happening, but he or she will not influence the dream. They'll allow it to go on. And then, but they are in total command of the dream. And then, for example, they will feel that, oh, my bladder is full. I got to go to the washroom, But they will also feel that, oh no, this is an important dream that's going, let it go on. See, they are very aware in that state. So in that state of awareness, they'll say, okay, let some more. Then they'll say, no, it's getting too much. Let me just relieve myself. They'll wake up. And in that trance state only, that stateness only, they will go to the washroom. They will, finish off and they'll come back. They'll lie down. They will go into the dream state, sleep state, enter into the dream state and continue the dream. They were talking all these things there. And I was like, what the hell is this? Later, now I'm learning about the Vedic scriptures which says about these 3 states of consciousness and how one can gain control over even the dream state is when the more aware you are, the more subject you live the life of awareness, it starts seeping into your other states of consciousness also. Like the sleep state, you are aware that you are sleeping. And the
dream state where you're aware that you're dreaming, but you don't do anything to, you don't get affected by it. Like you see a lion chasing you, you'll be okay, there's a lion coming, okay, I'm running. You'll see you are running. But that awareness will tell, okay, it's a dream, what will happen? And they will see till the end, whatever, even if it eats it up, you'll say, oh, it's eating up this false fellow. Can you see that? So out of the dream they're undisturbed, and when the dream ends, you're like, cool, nothing happened. I've had this kind of states where I'm dreaming and I open my eyes and the dream is still going on. So I'm looking around, and sometimes it's a very deadly kind of dream, very frightening, scary kind of a dream. Sometimes I get scared in the dream and that scare jolts me, but when I'm opening my eyes, awareness overtakes me. Suddenly I became aware that it was a dream. Even while transitioning out of the dream, in that state only I come to know, okay, this is a dream. And when I open my eyes and look around, I don't even go to think what the dream was. I just know, this is a nonsense, and go back to sleep. These are all the experiences that can come with our practices in awareness. It's very deep, guys. It's very, very deep. I don't know if I should talk it in this session or some other session, because what Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi talks about is very, very deep, very, very deep. It is like, I don't know, catch it if you can. I'll try to put it. It is like these three states of consciousness are there, where you are aware in the dream. In the dream state, there is an awareness that this is all false. All drama is happening around me. I can see this in a dream, and I am only dreaming. This is not real. In the dreamer will have this kind of awareness. Now Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi says the same in a whole sphere. If you raise from these three states of consciousness and go very high states of consciousness, he doesn't use these words, I am using for you to understand. If you just raise from these three states of consciousness, what I told you, that where you know that you are the dreamer and the dream is not real, what is happening to you, if you raise up, then you will see this Jagrit Avastha is a dream. And he says that is the reality. I don't know if you catch this. If you catch this, you have had it. you have unlocked one of the major secrets of life. The dream state, I told you how it feels. Now, when a person widens the awareness again and again, more, suddenly he becomes aware that this Jagrit Avastha is like a Swapna Avastha. It is actually a Swapna Avastha, they say. The scriptures says. This Jagrit Avastha is nothing but a dream state to that soul. So all that is why where the theory comes, sab maya hai, sab mithya hai, this is not real. Can you get it? This is not real. Oh, I see two people already wrote here. Lucid dreaming and Krishna ji and Chaitanya speaks. Okay, fine. I see it now. Are you getting even the hint of what I'm trying to say? Before entering into thing like, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this, this is all mithya, this is all maya, illusion, I should not. You can't get out of it, because you'll say, if I pinch myself, it's paining. And the rain is raining outside. If I go, I'll get wet. How can you call this as maya? This is so real. So this is one approach. When we take from the mind and start thinking these philosophies, theories, we can't get it. You need awareness to understand this. When you go into awareness and you understand these three states of consciousness, in the dream state, what happens? See how the person knows that lion is coming to her, it's not bothered. It's a false eye. I am not going to die, it knows. The dreamer knows, I am not going to die. But now, when the same kind of awareness is expanded in a liberated being who is living in the world, that being, the Mahatmas live in that state. The Avdutas live in that state where that dream state is right now happening in their Jagrita Avastha. They know this is all a dream. Somebody is coming to attack, okay, attack. This is the body, I am not going to die. They'll see the body dropping, but they are eternal. And they can go on again. It's a play, it's a dream. Na? Okay, I lost one body. It's like a video game. I lost this body. Okay, I go and take another body. In the video game, hota hai na? When somebody kills something, like you You die, but that's not the end. You wake up again. Another the game continues. Next chance is given. So the liberated beings are like that. Jivan muktas they are called. You wake up from that and you say, okay, fine. You create another body or whatever you need to, and you continue another. The dream continues. You're like I said, lucid dreaming. Those guys can stop the dream, do their work, come back and continue in that same dream without being affected. Can you see? This insight, if you get day ones deeply. I bow down to two of my Shiksha Gurus who have been great teachings. They are my Shiksha Gurus. Two of them, the Atma Bodha, Advaita Bodha. They are the ones who have given me these experiences and this wisdom also, which I think I was free enough to share it in this place, because this is a limited space where people can understand even what I'm talking. I'm still not sure if everybody can understand what I'm trying to say. But the topic today was returning to source, and returning to source is not a ball game. We cannot return to source by returning to the world. Now after this video ends, you return back to the world. Gone. You're returning to the source is gone. To return to the source, you have to constantly develop that awareness of that source. You have to constantly be aware of your higher goals. You don't have to be aware of your worldly goals, as far as I feel, because we are strongly conditioned. Even if you don't do anything, you will automatically start living in the world. Worldly dreams will follow. Without your wish also will follow, because the body, the mind, the karmas, everything is very strongly ingrained in this. What you need is now awareness of the higher tattvas. Returning to the source should be the subject. That if you understand, it's very easy to get connected to that zone. For that, this practice of awareness again and again, this should go on. I'm having it. So this kind of satsangas where we sit together and we contemplate, we reflect on certain truths. It's an opportunity for me to share, because the more I share, I see the more experiential wisdom I gain, and even the experience I gain. Because every time we talk about it, if I keep this mum in my this, it is only 10% that is dangling. Okay, I know about it. But when I start speaking, I've seen that 10 expands into 100%. I go into all those zones which I've never even thought. What takes me? That divine will. I just surrender to that. So don't think I'm only doing a seva on you. I'm doing a seva on myself. This is a satsanga for me also. It helps me in my spiritual practice. So that is why I bow in gratitude for you guys who make this possible. For good for you and me. This is called Paraspara Tattva Bodha. The way the ancient scriptures encourage this. Paraspara Tattva Bodha. Paraspara means interactive, where we sit together, we share with each other, we ignite each other, we awaken each other, we enlighten each other by Paraspara, mutual. Tattva Bodha. Bodha is becoming aware. Tattva is element, the elements of life, becoming aware of these elements or higher nature of our souls. This is Tattva Bodha. Pure Advaitans, if you see all Adi Shankaracharyaji's work and everything you see, it's all on Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha. Completely. Self-realization is Atma Bodha. Bodha means aware. Realization, Bodha. You realize something. Tattva, Atma, self. So self-awareness, self-realization, that is Atma Bodha. How does it happen? By triggering more of Paraspara Tattva Bodha. We become aware of this more and more, and we gain insights deep and deep, and we take those insights and go back into the world and live that. That's very important. This is not for philosophy teachings. This is for practice. This is why I say practical spirituality. What I'm speaking right now is spirituality, but when I imply that in my life, that is practical spirituality. I'm being practical in the spirituality. So I'm getting it. So I guess I've spoken enough on this now. Just give me a moment. So if you have any questions, you can just shoot it out now here. So If possible, please throw some light on subtle ego, Himanshu. Some gap is coming in between the words. Is that so? I'm not sure. Yeah, Punamji, we are here for each other. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm very happy, and I can see that. I thank people, because for the past 2 years we have been doing. There are people who contribute to some amount or something. All this happening because they understand the importance of this. Because it's important to understand without a certain amount and things, and these things cannot run. There are so many things that needs to keep this going. But I never directly ask on it. But okay, people who have felt good, they have done it. So I thank all those people who have supported this kind of support, which has helped those who can do it. Okay, they have done it so that it help others. They have said also, let it help others. So they are doing it with that kind of a bhava. So that's good in that manner. And some of them are very compassionate. They see sometimes I don't have a certain thing. Like one of my friend, he brought me a 20,000 worth of mic. It's so huge it is. It looks like a cannon shell. You can shoot it in a cannon. It looks so huge it is. Huge. But it's got a lot of features and all that. And that's lying for a couple of months. I have not touched it. But he was generous. He came one day and he just gifted it to me. You are doing all this, this will help you. Then somebody from the other day sent me a very costly set of Bluetooth, what do you call, earphones and all that. Because somewhere they feel, okay, this will help and let us support. So that's how these things are happening and these things are going. So I thank all of you. But I am telling, don't do that again and again, because I told some people I've asked to literally take back those, because I don't need sophisticated things. Very simple things like these are more than enough. And the work is going, kaam chal raha hai. It's going very good. And so I don't know about this telecast, about you said voice is not clear or breaking or something. And see, I'm telling you how beautiful things are. Yesterday I was talking to somebody from the US, and I don't know if you are here. She had asked me for a link and I sent it to her. She's an American. Maybe you are here, doesn't matter, even if you are here or not here, you might see it later. But yesterday what happened was, strangely, she is connected to one of the lineage of Bhagwan Nityananda of Ganeshpuri and Kanyanad. So somebody from that lineage, some other master, I don't want to take which is that. And she is practicing on that, being many years, almost 20 years she has been there. Suddenly she had a dream at night, and she woke up and she was very, very emotional when she saw the dream. And she saw, I don't want to get into the details of the dream, she saw one of her very good friend from the US only, again, who she calls as a best friend. She saw in the dream and Bhagwan Nityananda giving a certain kind of instruction or something, and she goes to that person, and that person directs her to me, because that other person, her friend, had come to Ganeshpuri and we were in touch. We have never met physically, but he's still in touch. So he said, just talk to this guy and clear off your doubts. So she just began sending messenger messages, and the messages were coming continuously. And I couldn't, yeah, thank you. Voice is clear, thank you. Anna Vespa, no, Ji, I cannot reveal those people, because those people don't want to be revealed. Those people are out of the world and they are not interacting with the world. And I'm not in touch with those Australian guys right now, but I'm aware that they are fully active somewhere. If I try to search them, I'll get them, but there's no need. And they prefer to be that way. So I really do not know and do not want to go too much into it. But I'm trying to make you aware that this is possible. All these things are there, very much there. We feel, what we are living, only this much is there. No, there's a big world. Like from Tirunamalai, I had made a small video at night where I was amazed to see so many enlightened beings walking there in Tirunamalai, especially in Ramanashram, Westerners, in certain states of awareness. They're just absorbed in that state. And not temporary like us. We go sit in a meditation, we are only there, then we are in the back in the world and we are lost in the world. They are always lost in their higher states of awareness. inside, outside, wherever they're moving, eating, interacting, they are in a certain blissful state. I said, this is spirituality, this is practical spirituality. And look at them, nobody even is aware of it. We talk so much, we have so much of activities to do, we have so many methods, platforms, this method, that method, everything, and look at those guys. They have no methods, only a certain state of awareness, and they are in that state. Bhagavan Ramana's devotees never have any methods. It is only the path of inquiry. They go into that state, meditative state, and inquire, and they using their vichara, atma chintan, they realize that this is the self and this is not the self, which is real, they do that. And they very spontaneously, very easily, you can see them entering into that state. I said, wow. And these are the so-called inferior beings, I can see even in many places I have seen this. The ashram people or the other devotees, and they often treat them like, nothing. And they're like, okay. They are given, so, hey, don't sit here, sit there, go there. They will not do it, they will get them back. Array, if you have little awareness and you look at them, whom you are treating as inferior, they are mighty superiors than you in states of consciousness. They are so evolved beings. But our ignorance, we should have the ability, humility to even respect them. They have the states of consciousness much evolved than us. We are, most of us are like show-off spirituality. That's practical spirituality. So that humbleness, when you see that, I was very humbled. Actually, I am making videos, I am doing that. Okay, these are people who are not doing anything, but they're in that state. Bow down to them. So that night I had made that video saying that there are people who exist like this. So that is the reason I was talking about these Australians. There are people, very mystics are there, everywhere. Even around you, in this country, in this place, there are people. There are people even active I see on this profiles. Certain masters are connected to my profile. Certain yogis are there. Different states. When I interact with them in the messenger, they're in different states. They sometimes appreciate my posts, not publicly, because they are non-public people. Interact inside, they send some message, and then it's a confirmation. These are our seniors. These are our masters who have been to that state. We learn from them. So that's kind of a confirmation. Okay, fine. This is okay. And they're supportive. This is what I call actual spirituality, where we support each other, we nourish each other. When we see a glow happening somewhere, instead of putting it down, we actually nourish it, because we need a lot of glows in this world. So I can see there are many glows, but I can also see so many people are shut down. Like I saw there, those Westerners are moving, and you push here, there, go out from here, sit there, you're not supposed to do this, do that. And they are even least bothered. In Banaras I had met one girl, I think she was hardly in her 20s. I was walking on that ghat. There's a huge long ghat for kilometers, it's that wide. You can just walk. So my favorite meditation in Banaras or Varanasi or Kashi is walking on the Ganga ghat. So I'm just walk in a state of awareness from this end to that end. I'll keep on walking. In state of awareness of the Mother Ganga, Ganges, because Ganges is not, when we say Mother Ganga, it is not water, it is consciousness in the liquid form. So if you are aware of that tattva, it's amazing. That Ganga, the Ganga is what makes that place very holy. Be it Kashi or be it Haridwar or Rishikesh, all those places, if you see, the banks are very sanctified. So I was walking on this, from this end to that end to this end, and then I was walking, I saw one girl, a very young girl, she was in tears, and so much of tears, whole shirt was like watery, and she was sobbing deeply. For a moment I was just behind her, and suddenly I saw her sobbing, and she was walking slowly. I said, oh my God, she's in some problem. And sometimes she's just crying, tears are flowing, and sometimes she's breaking out into loud cries. And when she's loudly crying, she's stopping and crying and crying. She's looking at the river, and then she's again looking down, and then she's walking a bit steps, and then when she gets that shudder of crying, she stops and she cries, weeping. I was thinking, is she contemplating some suicide or something? She's trying to, looking at the river, and Something has happened in her life that has disturbed her. Poor thing, that is why she's come from all the way from there to find some peace. This is my judgments that is going on in my mind. So I became very concerned. And that compassion came, like, should I ask if I can be of any help or something? Like, I'm walking close to her. My speed also reduced. Then on the other side, I'm thinking, oh, is it good to talk to a stranger? How will she react? I don't know. And I don't know how people will take it. But I was very concerned. What will happen? What will happen? Like, she was looking constantly. So at one spot, she stopped and she was standing there, holding that side rail, just standing there and crying. So I went in front of her. I said, sister, do you have any problem? Can I help you in any way? I'm telling you, I came in front of her, but she never took her eyes off that space and looked at me. Whatever she was doing, she continued doing as though I did not exist in front of her. 2-3 times I asked her. And then she continued walking as though I was dead, I was a soul there. That moment I came to know, oh my God, she is in a very high elevated state. I said, the big me, help her. I just continued walking. I laughed over it and I walked and I was looking back at her. She was continued in her. She was actually crying out of bliss. Those were tears of bliss. I thought it was tears of sorrow. Hardly she must have been 24, 25. A Westerner. How we take people for granted and how some people are walking. That is a mystical path. The mystics are that way. They never want to be shown. They never want to be seen. They are that way. The other day, somebody in Tirunamala sent me a video of a Siddhar who was very rare to be seen, and he followed him, he took his video and he tried shooting him, and he's saying he's not showing his face. I was trying to tell him, please leave them alone, please don't trouble them, because the camera was focused and he was sitting like this. Because he was aware somebody is shooting and he was sitting like this. Oh, have mercy, please. We must respect their privacy. We must never go behind anybody like that. We should not. That I realized in Banaras when I saw that girl. I realized we should not interfere in all those things where somebody is in that state. Though you feel like talking to them, it's not needed. They are not interested in talks and all those things. I saw this in Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi's ashram also. So I've seen all these things happening. Yes, I was saying yesterday this girl had this dream, it seems just 2 days back or something, and she's from USA, and she contacted a friend because that friend was also in the dream where Bhagavan Nityananda came, and that friend said, you talk to Jacob because I've been in touch with him regarding Bhagavan Nityananda and he has helped me in the Ganesh Puri thing. So she goes and connects with me on Messenger and she starts talking about Bhagavan Nityananda. I wanted to know a little more of Kanjangad and this place and all. I've seen your blogs and all. Can you refer me some videos which can connect me and all that? I said, okay. But the messages were going continuous and then audio messages were going continuous. Then, something provoked me from inside because I said, I think we should make a brief call and finish this off because otherwise it's going to just go on and on and on. And then she was said, yes, that's what, we can do that. And we just connected and we start speaking on Bhagavan Nityananda. And then she immediately told me about what happened to her in the dream and this thing happened and, this is how we came. And I was also feeling very elated because it's related to him, because I'm very connected to him. And so there is a purpose. I immediately came to know there is a purpose. So this is not about her individuality or my individuality. So I just lost that individuality and started addressing to what the things were. And she went on telling about what her queries were and all those things. And a lot of clarity started coming into her life when she said, I'm doing these practices, but now I'm feeling connected to the source. I'm not feeling connected to this, I'm getting reconnected to Bhagavan Nityananda. So I'm, now I'm so, and she was crying. She was literally crying. I said, go on, I'm listening, go on. And she went on. I was quiet, I was just listening. And she said, I'm so connected, now I'm feeling that, he's calling me back. And 20 years back, I was in touch with him. Then I lost touch and I did so many things. I went to many gurus, I went to many practices, I did this.
but that still that thing is there, and suddenly now I see him, and now I believe that he's calling me back. I interrupted and I said, he's not calling you back. He was always there. He was always there. You couldn't hear him. You couldn't hear him because we get lost in this world. And when our gross consciousness increases, our subtle consciousness decreases, divine consciousness decreases. More of free will starts coming in, less of divine will comes in. More of free will is my consciousness, my body consciousness, it's the I-ness, and then the doership and all those things. Then they are there. They are not left, but only thing that signals don't reach us. Because the gross consciousness gets clouded, and because of the clouds, that subtle presence cannot penetrate. Then that doesn't mean they are gone. We feel they are not there. So when this starts clearing off, and yesterday we talked for 3 hours. And we talked for 3 hours because it was very meaningful and it had a purpose. It had a divine purpose, because slowly the cloud started moving, and when I told, he was always there. You didn't see him, you didn't listen to him. So you're feeling now, he's calling you back. He is not calling you back, you are going back to him. You have realized that. And she just started weeping. She started crying. Then she said, it's so true, I can feel. Then I thought, okay. Then she said, that worthiness thing was there. Am I worthy enough to go there? And I said, you are worthy always of the source. Because it is coming through many mediators. Mediators are there for a certain purpose, to elevate your consciousness to a certain level. And once your consciousness is elevated to that way, the mediator is not bothered now. Because that's their duty. That's their dharma. That is what they have taken birth. And what their main divine work is, that to raise your elevation and to reach you to above. It is not to keep you there. So that guilt should go. And she had a great breakthrough from that, because somehow that I could see there was a sense of guilt that I have so many things to do. I do this, but if I don't do this, I cannot. And I said, no way. If you're connecting and if you're realizing those things, that's it. That the purpose is served. Every tool, every instrument is a tool for you to be reached somewhere. And if you're reaching that, you either need less of it or you don't need any of it, depending on your continuity of the journey. It's not that once I get, I don't need anything, and I said, no, I don't meditate, nothing, I am in that state. No, that's a false state. It should not be from the mind. It should be from your awareness. And that knowing is more than your intelligence. You don't take decisions. I should do this, I should not do this. What has to be done will be made to be done through you. What should not be done will not be made through you. That is when you have surrender. So I said, if you are connecting to that source, remain connected. And I said, when we are talking, remain connected to the subject. And we went on. And the final 1 hour, we went into some deeper aspects of our concerns and all that. And then the final moments of the calls, the final minutes, like last half an hour, we were both in awareness, and we were talking about something. I was talking, and she was out of her body consciousness. I couldn't hear her. So I was saying, did she drop the call and go off? It was so boring or something. And she said, no, she was only interrupting. No, go on. Only that much. So I went on. And then she got so connected. And by the end of that almost 3 hours, I told her what you need to be doing now. She said, I cannot do anything now. I'm not in a position to even move from here. I am glued in my chair. And I can't seem to move. I want to take rest. I said, don't go and sleep now. This is not the time to sleep. You have entered into that state of higher consciousness. Now make use of it. Contemplate. Remain in that. Remain meditative. Expand that space. Because all the solutions are coming now to you. She said, yes, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this very much connected. And I'm sorry now, I won't be able to talk much. I can't. I said, that's it. My work is done. Bye then. See you. And then I didn't hear. I cut the call. And then later on, after 1 hour or something, I got a message from her saying that she was rooted in her chair for 1 hour. She said she had gone into some deep trance. I said, that is your awareness that you connected. When the moment you are triggered from that will happen. And then today morning she sent me a message. I want some of my friends to do this. Now I'm not going to do it in this manner. Tell me what is your thing like, your consultation sessions. Let's go in that. I said, okay, fine, if you appreciate. She said, I want to support your work. I said, great. I know you are sent by that tattva, because that is what prompted me to even take I never talk to anyone, guys. I never, because it's very draining and it's not. So that is why I fixed this personal consultation, because when people pay for it, they have respect for the time and they know they're fully focused, because now I paid for that 1 or 2 hours. Before time runs out, I have to make the best use of it. I said, that's the approach. That can come only with these kind of things. And not just you, it's helpful for me also, because that's my livelihood also. Okay, fine, let's do it in that way. So that's a mutual benefit. And people benefit from that. Okay, I said, go ahead. I gave her the links and all that. So she'll get back to me on that. So what I was trying to tell you is, when you are in that divine space, and when you are connected with the ascended masters and the Guru Tattva, the Guru Mandala and all that, most of your work they do. And to tell you, I was telling my mom on this, because I think the person who sent me those earphones also is here. So you must listen to this. I didn't tell you this because I didn't feel the need to tell you. I was just going to Tirunamalai, and what happened was my earphone, suddenly something stretched, and one side got off. I couldn't hear from one side. Immediately I went to Amazon and ordered one. Good. I either go for JBL or iBall. They are the best. The wire ones. I love the wire ones. So I ordered that, but then I saw, oh, this is going to come a day after. So by the time I cannot, I have to go without AdSense. Then before alighting the train to Tirunamalai, I went to a shop and bought it, because I said, let me have another temporary one and let me keep it. So while I have this trip and come back, I can use this. And while I was sitting in the train, I got a message from this person saying that perhaps it's a nudge from the universe. I felt that I should send you some earphone. I said, I never take any gifts from anybody, because that's one thing I can tell you in deep, why we should not accept gifts. There's some other time. But I immediately said no. But this I said okay, because I knew it's in proper timing. It's in that divine synchronicity. I said okay, fine. That's not me doing. That's something else, because that person also said probably I'm not doing. I'm just the mediator and trying. Okay, I appreciate that. So in states of awareness, you become even aware of these things. You become aware of the divine play also. My guru used to say, जिसने चुग्गा दिया है वो दाना भी देगा. The one who has given the beak will give the grain also. That is called divine will. So when you function and when you live in that state of divine consciousness, things happen in spontaneity. In spontaneity. Okay, just give me 15 more minutes. I will be closing it at 2 o'clock. I know some of you have gone for lunch. Body consciousness, the priority, the body consciousness is very important. I got to feed this body in time, otherwise I'll die. This is what, I'm giving these small nudges so that we become aware of all these things. It's not very important, we feel, but they are. All these things are very, very important. That is why I always say, if you want to get into this path very seriously, first write down all your goals of life, whatever you want, because that cannot be denied. You fulfill that. But on the top, write the goal of your self-realization. This not everybody, I'm telling you, everybody will not have the desire for self-realization or liberation. Very few, and I'm telling you, you are blessed ones. You don't know how blessed. Read the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna talks about it. How blessed is that person who even has the thought of liberating. How blessed it is, because it's handful out of billions. Handful out of billions. Can you imagine that? Because it is only when you get the desire for self-realization can you even move towards it. Because when that intensity of that desire is strong towards liberation, you will see that automatically all the things are coming to you to make that fruitful. To make that path fruitful, all the people, places, things and objects and scriptures and whatever you call, coincidences, divine synchronicity, it brings everything to you so that you can move in that direction. So having that
Desire is very important, and that desire cannot come until it is the grace of the Lord. This is what it said. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said this. Even to think of God is the grace of God. He said, only by the grace of God can you even think of God. God realization. So find yourself and bless yourself and be very happy that you have entered into that zone where you can actually start moving, and you'll start seeing. I'm telling you, the more your intensity, this is my personal experience. I don't need something from, I don't have to demand from the world. I don't have to ask the world. I don't even have to ask God. I just have to be in that space of beingness, and what I want, be in that space, and what has to come will be provided. I have had timely people, Shiksha Gurus, coming into my life, timely people who gave me guidance, who gave me the scriptural knowledge, who fed me with the ancient texts, who gave me divine wisdom, and there were enough masters who walked into my life, blessed me, healed me, gave me grace for a particular direction. I could see all that happening. So when you know the Guru Tattva is at work, you know that element is at work, the God consciousness is at work, you can see the power of it. Nothing can stop the universe, because once you have asked there, the universe will bring down that to you. So with this approach, I think it will be very clear to you. Okay, so there are no questions here. Oh, Balaji, you're still here? Good. Malaji has a lot of problems in technicalities. So she is still a child. Otherwise also she is a child, but she is still a child. I remember 2 years back when I used to do these lives, she used to come and tell me, please install your live in my laptop, in my mobile. I used to tell her do this, and people also used to tell her in the comments, it's not that way, you have to do it this way, this way. But every time she will come, I cannot see your live in my laptop, can you set it up for me? Then I lost her in between. Then she was busy with her spiritual life and all that. I believe she went to met some few of the others, and she's doing her. She's an elderly lady, and I have a lot of respect for her. So I try to sometimes contact her and she's not there. She's not there. I can't find her on Messenger. I can't find her on Facebook. I can't find her on emails. Nothing is answered. Then suddenly after 15 days she will appear on Facebook and put a comment, wow, that's nice bhaiya, and this I understood, this was very nice. Oh, you're there, you've seen this. So she is an offline seer. So first time I'm seeing her after long. She's here in this live. She's another one person who supports me very well in this place. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, Tina, you're also here. Good. Tina, I cannot imagine you're sitting for these kind of sessions. Good, I'm very happy. I am so happy to see these names. Wow. See these names. My goodness. You guys are very advanced in your consciousness. Causeless bliss. My goodness. What made you put that name? Causeless bliss. My God. So deep. Bliss without a cause. Every bliss that we get, every happiness that we get has some cause. I get this mic, I'm very happy. I get some toys, I'm very happy. I give something, I'm very happy. So it is a give and take. It has a cause to create a bliss, and he or she has written here, causeless bliss. Great. Causeless bliss is what is referred to the Satchidananda, without a cause, that the same self source, that light without a cause. You have sunlight because there is a sun. You have tube light because there is a tube. You have cosmic life without a cause. There is no cause. It's there, ever illuminating. It doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end. So this causeless bliss, this beautiful bliss that you have without a cause, that is the true bliss. Nityananda is causeless bliss. That which is Nitya, eternal. Beautiful, guys. You motivate me for these nice names. Chaitanya speaks. Look at this. Wow. Chaitanya is consciousness. Pure consciousness, not just consciousness. Chaitanya is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness speaks. Actually, it doesn't speak because it doesn't have all this, but it has tools of expression. Like for example, I am expressing something here. It is my Chaitanya that is speaking using these senses, tools. Chaitanya speaks. Oh, beautiful. So beautiful, guys. Very happy to be with all these like-minded people. These are subjects which appeal so much. These are on the track of soul realization or self-realization, what we call. Amarta, yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you, all of you. Kanubhai is here. I'm very happy. He is another supporter for these tasks. Thank you so much. Shabnam, absolutely beautiful session. So in sync with everything in my life is going through, to the extent that the moment you said some of you need to go for lunch, my doctor came out saying food. See, these are distractions on the path. These are tests, because you can wait actually. My master used to have these long sessions where people wanted to go to the loo and they used to say, we want a break. Hey, it's in your mind. Sit down there. If you can't control your loo, and you can't control satiate your hunger, you can't control your hunger, what are you here for? You won't get all these things. If your priority is only food, sex, shelter, that's the most gross consciousness that one lives. That is called as animalistic tendency. My master used to always say, Pashubha. Don't live in Pashubha. Rise above animal tendencies. Have a divine will over these petty things of life. These petty things you are again going to deal in the life. Food, sex, shelter, passions, all these things can wait for some time, and then you are actually contemplating on the most essential thing of your purpose of life. So it's like undivided attention for 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever it is that. It's a commitment that we give to ourselves. So these are basic disciplinaries which if you develop, I have seen, it will benefit immensely. It has immensely benefited me. I have always carried these on the top. This liberation is there. Rest all is there. I have other things also. Okay, they're there. But that is on the top. So that keeps you reminded to be on the path. It's always a constant reminder. So in the today's morning session also I was seeing, another 8-10 minutes I'll finish it. Nirlakanti ji, this session was timeless, but yet today you have taken me more deeper. I'm glad it helps. And higher consciousness truly at work, yeah. Krishna, when someone doing wrong, should we protest for their well-being or become a witness of this wrong? See, you look at it as a witness when somebody is doing wrong, especially when we are saying the world is doing wrong, the criminals are doing something, you need not go and protest, because that's the collective consciousness doing its work. Karma is at its work. You cannot interfere. Same applies in your inner world, in your loved ones also. You actually cannot interfere, but it becomes your responsibility since you are known. Like if you are a parent and if a child is doing wrong, you are witnessing it, but at the same time giving advice. Advice, it is not intrusion. It is a suggestion that you are giving. See, if you do this, this will happen. If you don't do this, I can guide you, I can help you. But how will you know you are detached from that outcome? See your own reactions. Is somebody's reaction, they are doing wrong? Oh my God, that person is doing wrong, it's irritating, and night I don't have sleep, my headache, these people are not, that is attachment. That is interference into somebody's karma too much. That is not witness. Witness means you are seeing, you are understanding, you are doing, you are also overseeing why that person is doing that. Because they have certain samskaras, certain tendencies, they have certain conditioning. So you will have compassion, poor thing is stuck with that. So you will try to do something to do about that which is stuck in. Not that directly go and change the person. So this is how you interact with loved ones. With the world, it's very difficult. You cannot go in. If you can do it, that's a great thing, but it's not needed that you must go and do it in the world. It's like if it's divine will, it will happen through you. If it is not, it will not. because that is also divine will. What we see as negative also is divine will. Everything is the play of consciousness. Play of consciousness means everything goes on. Only positivity will not go on. All positive, negative will go on. Prabhakar wonderful session. Woke up at 6 a.m. on Sunday after a long time. UK time match wholeheartedly. Thanks. Thank you very much, guys. Because I have interacted with around 3 people from UK in my past personal sessions, and I'm happy that Westerners are actually getting connected. Because Westerners, they stay away when we talk Vedic scriptures. When we especially use gods in that, they run away. When we say any god names like Shiva, Rama, Krishna, some get attended. Those who are in the devotional, they get attended. But the others who are contemplating on the self, because self has no identities, to tell you the truth. The divine consciousness, the supreme consciousness is Nirakara, no form at all. Nirguna, there is no attributes at all. From there everything comes, and these people are directly connecting to the Nirakara. So they are right. So they cannot take anything of form, form and name and paths, religions. They cannot identify with it. They will say, what is this? I don't relate. I cannot connect with it. What I can connect is that supreme consciousness, and that is reflecting in myself. I'm trying to identify myself. I'm trying to realize myself. When I realize myself, I get that God realization. That's all that definition. So when we talk about godly stuff, or they move away. Though they are much advanced, can't believe they are very advanced. They want to go. That's that state of advancement when they discard everything. We say it is wrong. Oh, that guy is not spiritual because he is discarding it. He doesn't think of. He doesn't take names. He is not even doing mantra japa. He doesn't say Hari Om. He doesn't say Namah Shivaya. He doesn't say Jai Shri Krishna. He doesn't say praise the Lord. He doesn't say Alhamdulillah. So he is not one of our. He doesn't relate. That person cannot relate with what you're talking. The person cannot even understand what you're talking, because the level of consciousness is above this. You got to transcend it. See, that's most important that I wanted to connect and tell you. Yeah, Nitaji, thank you. That chitta vritti nirodha is not enough. Patanjali Yoga Sutras, if you take, there is the highest realization, the last point of realization is chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti means chitta is your consciousness, chaitanya. Your mind, you can say, a pure mind. Nirodha means absence, removing, taking off. What? Vrittis. Vrittis are the what do you call? Thought patterns. The tendencies, they are called vrittis. They are thought forms, not yet taken form, but they are jumping like vrittis. We have different vrittis. Vrittis give rise to thoughts and passions and tendencies and emotions and all that. So vritti, chitta vritti, the vritti should be stopped, or it should be cleansed. The mind should be cleansed of all the vrittis. That is called chitta vritti nirodha, and that is the final point in Yoga Sutras. Patanjali Yoga Sutras, if you read. Now, if you go deeper into the Vedas and Upanishads, it says it doesn't stop there. That's not the end. Chitta vritti nirodha, uske baad kya? Chitta vritti nirodha means you go into a state where the mind is completely blank. And when you go into mindless state, you enter into a blissful state, a samadhi, because it's a zero thought, zero vritti state. And when you enter into samadhi, you remain. Samadhi is not the end of it, because samadhi, there are different types of samadhi, and samadhi can be broken. And when it breaks, you come back into your normal consciousness. So that's not the end. That's not the end of realization. That's not the end of liberation. The higher scriptures talk even deeper. It says, go beyond that stillness, go beyond that blissfulness, go beyond that state of samadhi. Go beyond chitta vritti nirodha. There's something beyond that. That is self-realization. Even samadhi is an experience, is an outcome of that. It is not the destination yet.
It is an output of that. It's an experience of that. So going beyond that, that means a true seeker, a mumuksha who wants to liberate completely will not even stop at samadhi. They'll not say, oh, I'm achieving samadhi, it's enough, done. No, they know it. You have to go even beyond the state of samadhi. Beyond the state of samadhi is the state of nothingness, where you experience yourself as nothing and as everything. See, when you become nothing, you become everything. That's omnipresence, what you call, omniscience, what you call. You are there, present in everything. We say the tattva, God tattva is present in everything. It's the plants, in this chair, in this me, in the specs, it's there everywhere. Chaitanya is there, pure consciousness is there everywhere, brimming through it. So I think next Sunday I will go deeper into how this Chaitanya works. We can look into the Vedas all reveal this, but if you try to read it, it's too complicated. It gets too deep. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the same terminology here in a very simple fashion where we can understand it in very practicality with practical life examples. So I'm not going completely on that because it's very, very confusing otherwise. That is why many people stay away from our scripture. They cannot read the Vedas. They don't like the Upanishad because it's very confusing. So I believe we don't need that, just to have a glimpse of this, because that will give you an interest how deep it is. Our journey, our own journey, we can reflect and see, oh my God, it's so beautiful my journey is. I can go it in this manner. So I was saying it is going beyond this chittavritti nirodha. It says don't get entangled. I just made a note of this actually. It says don't get entangled with the world. If you want to go into that state of even chittavritti nirodha or beyond it, what your practice should be is you repeat this practice of that. Even if you find it, some people have had their lunch and come back. You missed the most important thing. Yay! You might want to see the recording. Otherwise, you will not connect. So, if you want to go towards that, most of the time what happens is many people say, I got what you're saying, I got what you're saying. I'm doing this for the past 2 years and I know people who have come in and walked out of my life and these sessions. I've seen people coming, going. It's a waxing and waning kind of thing. That shows the seriousness. I cannot tell them anything. It's their own free will. It's how seriously you want it. Those who want it seriously will try to stick on to the subject and get more and more, and because this is what even Ma Sharada said, Ramakrishna Paramahamsaji's wife. Ma Sharada said, you have to go on repeating this practice, whatever practice you're doing, so that you become engulfed in it. Otherwise, you lose it. You'll just lose it. If you are not active in those spiritual practices, you lose it. See, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa very beautifully said, he gave a beautiful example. Listen to this carefully. And exactly what I am talking is living in awareness, shifting into awareness again and again. This is what Ramakrishna said in his own words. He gave an example of the women carrying pots in the village. He said, look at the women. Somebody asked him, how needed it is to do this japa, this meditation and all this. How much time to do it? Till when do I do it? Where is the end to it? And how can I establish myself in this? So Ramakrishna said, look at those women. There were women going to the Ganga river and Dakshineshwar Kali and getting water on the pots. So he said, look at the pots on their head and look at their activity. They are carrying pots on their head. They are not even holding it. Now their balance is so beautiful. Both the hands are down, and the pot is, balancing itself perfectly on the head. And all these women, watch them. If they are not attentive, they will drop the pot, and they know how precious it is. They cannot afford to. But you will never see a single woman dropping the pot, the mud pot, down. Why? Because they have a certain awareness of it. They know there is something on top, but at the same time,
You watch their activity. They are talking, they are laughing, they are chatting, they are moving their hands freely, they are touching each other, everything is happening. They are talking worldly things, they are thinking about something, all those things. Is it affecting the pot? No. The pot is still in balance. How are they able to do it? Because if you put only your attention there all the time, concentrating on that, and then you try to balance it, it becomes more difficult. You try to see it, and they are free flowing, moving. This is what happens in meditation. We sit down in meditation, we are, fully constipated, and we are forcing ourselves to get into that state of nothingness, and we're trying to push that. It's so much of struggle going on. There is no ease in that. So meditation is a suffering actually. Meditation becomes suffering. It should have relieved us, but it becomes suffering because we do not know this. Whereas the women, they are very casual, they are aware. The balance is their awareness, they are aware of it. That awareness is taking care of it. At the same time, they are doing their worldly, nothing is stopping them. They are not only in that. So this is what Ramakrishna told, how to live in this world beautifully. The women are living in the world, talking worldly talks, chatting, enjoying, gossiping, all those things are there. And even touching each other, all those things. But at the same time, they are connected to the pot. Can you see that? That pot is what I am saying, awareness. Being aware and doing your worldly activities. So this will establish you, I say, in one. And you have to do this repeatedly. That woman, a new woman cannot just go and take the pot and try doing it. It will fall, it will break. What makes that support? Practice. Constantly they have been doing it all their life. So now they have mastered that awareness, while doing the activity at the same time being aware. So the master used to say, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, practice makes you strengthen. If you don't practice it regularly, you will lose it. Even the wisdom that you hear, I have seen so many people, they during the COVID time it was better because everything was shut out. There was no option, no shops, no schools, no work. You can't go out because police were doing lathi charge. And the only thing that you would do was open your mobile and sit. And that advantage was there that I was also doing this, I had my advantage of being locked down and people had the advantage. So we spent in satsanga. And we were talking all these days. So it was very deep subject. I saw a lot of people got engaged in it. And they saw simultaneously themselves coming out of a lot of fears, phobias and conflicts and confusions, doubts cleared. Everything was happening. Then the world opened up. Lockdown ceased. And people got involved in that. Then everything went away. Then for days we are not in touch. We are not just me. Anywhere you are not in touch with spiritual things and it's gone. For months then nothing. Then almost a year nothing is happening now, And then when we talk here they say, those days we had a great time. Unable to do that now. Why? You were not careful about it. When everything shut down, or your external things forcefully shut down, Lord shut it down for a purpose. The whole world is shut down. He said you spend time in isolation with yourself. And the world learnt it, but yet did not learn it. Learnt it that time when it was forceful. When the free will came in their hand, you see what choices they made. When it was divine will, that was divine will. Lockdown was divine will. No free will chalta hai udhar. No government's free will, no your will, no my will, nothing. Everybody divine will. Allah जाने क्या होगा, भगवान जाने क्या होगा. Divine will. But the moment the free will came into our hand, we started utilizing it again. No time for this, Oh, that can wait. Spirituality can wait. Meditation can wait. All those things. Hey, people say even spiritual travels. I want to travel, let's see. It can wait. What happened, I can't. My tickets are a little tied up and, my son is having sickness and my daughter is not well. She's going to college, she has tuitions, my husband is out of town, so many things. And then I find the same person going to a excursion, going for a picnic, 2-day picnic. So now picnic, I managed, somehow I made it. I adjusted this, I've adjusted her tuition time and this person I had somebody take. Okay. So that shows a priority. And see how we fool ourselves. We fool ourselves. We do not know our priorities. I am saying have those priorities, but keep the top on the list. Then when nothing, we have 10 different desires of the world. One desire we can't have about ourselves, spiritual, leave alone everything else. One desire on top. You need not do that, just keep a reminder, that's all. But we are fully engaged in these other aspects, and unfortunately when the other aspects give us pain and suffering, we return to the first. Yesterday I was talking to that girl and she was saying, I'm suffering now, right now, I'm going this turmoil. I said, that's grace, don't worry about it. Oh, you don't know this kind of suffering. I said, good, very nice. When people tell me they're suffering, I laugh. Somebody tells me, oh, don't know, I have a serious problem. What? This thing happened in my life. Ah, wow, I say. What kind of a stupid nut is you? Saying wow to this? How insignificant, how stone-hearted can you be? You think whatever you want, but you don't know the blessing that is working. Now when you get a kick on your back, suddenly there is an intensity, and that intensity is so strong. I need to talk to you. Personal consultation. I need to talk to you. What happened? I'm on fire. This thing has happened. Now I need to talk urgent. See the urgency? Then there is suffering, there is urgency to go higher. We remember God when we fall down. So I had made a video on that very clearly. Suffering is disguise. It's all in disguise. It comes to you when actually when you are needing it the most, or when you are straying yourself from the path. It comes and knocks you, the divine consciousness, and reminds you, भाई साहब, बहन जी, आप इसके लिए नहीं आए हो, कर लो जो भी करना है कर लो, but return back. You are not come here for this. Otherwise, in our meeting, in between life, we will have to talk the same. What do you call that? Minutes of meetings will be there. You come and we say, oh, I didn't do this. Okay, let's discuss now how we do it. Okay, let's rearrange your life pattern. We'll do it in this manner. Okay, let's calculate your punya says, your good merit says, you can have this kind of allocation, you can have this kind of opportunity. So this, but your bad karmas will always keep you stuck in this also. Then you say, no, I'll work on it. Don't worry. I'll be careful. Even if it is a little tough and these situation challenging, I have this good merits also. So I'll take care of this. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to learn this. The consciousness will tell you, yeah, go better learn it. Then we can have this permanent stay here. So go, yeah, you go. Oh, and it's a parachute bungee jumping. And you jump from there. Now you come here and slowly you get lost. You forget everything what you had discussed before and all that. So that divine knows, those astral being knows, your guides knows, the ascended masters knows. Oh, somebody is going off track, going back. You need to pull him back or pull her back. What to do? Okay, going deep down into the ravines. Okay, attachment. Oh, completely going to get drowned now. Last 150 lives had gone in the same attachment with the same people. Now this has come as a daughter, husband, wife, whatever. Last life it was grandparents, a pet dog, and every life. How many more lives? 150 lives have passed away. And you said every lifetime I'll take care of this, and you forget. Okay, tatastu, may you come back. The tatastu, that grace is enough. That will give that which you are attached to so much, that attachment only will start giving you pains. And you say, my people whom I am attached and I love so much, they are only giving me so much of trouble, Whom I love the most only, they hate me, they give me so much of trouble, so much of pain and suffering. I can't believe this. How much I have done for this. I do. I laugh at this. Seriously, I laugh. Now at least open your eyes. Why these things are happening? Are you going to behave like those ignorant fools? I call them that. They are ignorant, who are completely lost in the world and they don't know also how to get out of it. That is one another thing. Why have you woken up? Why have you woken up? Why are you calling yourself spiritual? What has spiritually done to you all these years? What kind of wisdom has it brought? What kind of enlightenment has it brought? What kind of clarity has it brought to you on your subject and your real purpose of life? That even after knowing this, you are succumbing to it. Oh, you don't know the pain. It's so painful. Yes, my master used to tell me a story about, tell us a story about the monkey who went greedily to grab peanuts into a jar of glass jar and put its hand there and grabbed all the peanuts it could and tried to pull it, but the mouth of the bottle was very narrow. It could put its hand easily, but when it grabbed it, it was so much the hand was not coming out, and it started howling in pain. So people are trying to tell the monkey, hey, drop those peanuts, it will come out. Drop those. No, because it doesn't want to leave this attachment. Got very much attached to it. I have got entangled in this now. I can't pull myself out of this now. Maya mein phas gaya. So the struggle that I'm pulling and the suffering, you don't know. I'm telling, arey yaar, look at it at least carefully before brooding so much. At least look at the condition and settle down for a while. Hey, you don't know. You are laughing. What do you know about this? You don't know my plight. Those who suffer only they know. जिसके ऊपर बीतती है उसको ही पता है. And I, okay, ठीक है. What will you do if you don't laugh over these things? So the monkey will even bleed, cut its hand, but it will not leave. That is what Maya can do. That is what attachment does to it. So if we don't live a life of awareness, and slowly, because when you are in awareness, when you understand, oh, this is my Maya, this is my this, you don't have to get into it directly, but just understanding suffering. When I'm suffering, why is this suffering coming? Okay, attachment. Attachment, why? Because I have expectation, 100%. I've made many videos, you can look into that. Why does suffering, attachment happen? I'm attached because I have expectation. When I have expectation, when it is not fulfilled, I have suffering. When it is fulfilled, I am blissful. So the more blissful I am, the more I am addicted to that blissfulness, and the more I expect them to do only good to me. The more they do bad to me, I feel offended. So the whole tug of war is going in that. I do not know how to pull out. All that I know is with my awareness. You just see, oh my God. So I have to leave this to have ease? Yes, my dear. Okay, fine. I left it. Oh, but it's going. Let it go. Pull your hand out. Oh, what a relief. My God. I thought my hand would get cut. Yeah, it would have got cut if you don't listen in time and if you don't take action on that. Now, what do I do about the peanuts? You want to have them? Put your hands again and grab them. No, it's okay. This is called lesson learned. This is how each and every step we move one by one. And I'm telling you one more thing, dear ones. Those who are on this path of self-realization, there is a myth saying that you have to be constantly in that space and then only you can know. Do not attempt to do anything as a shortcut. Before that realization comes to you, do not take a shortcut. That will create more suffering and conflicts. For example, people say spirituality, when you go deeper and you say that you just become silent. Like Ramana Maharshi's main teaching is Summairu. Don't speak. There's nothing to speak, because once you come to know how the world is functioning and how useless all these activities are, it's of no use telling somebody, trying to do nothing. You don't do anything, that mess will continue. You withdraw out of the play. You want realization means what? You want to get out of that birth and death cycle. So you must first stop interacting with the play. How do you stop interacting with the play? Silent. Isolation. You don't talk, you don't go to indulge in anything, and when you see anything also, you know, okay, this is another illusion. But your telling will not help anything. Anybody is not going to change. So best is be silent, be in your space. Now many people say awareness means silence. So you should not speak, go to speak. Many people have advised me that also. Why do you want to talk about it? Be silent. Did not all these mystics say be silent? Be silent. I tell them that is their state from which they are talking. They have reached to that state, they are talking. Before evolution, never have these myths of shortcuts. Never think that if I become silent, I am going to be self-realized. No. It is hypocritical. It is actually being false. It is not authenticity, what I say. Authentic means being true to yourself. If you are feeling like talking, you do it, but you do it in a state of awareness. You do whatever you are doing just because it is written somewhere or said somewhere. Don't just become that. Don't just try to become that when you are not yet done. Are you getting it? So all these impressions are there. Everybody will talk from a high state of consciousness at their final level, and this is it. This means mauna. You will not feel, yes, at that state will come. But till that time you have activities. That is why you are here. So you cannot just be liberated just by thinking about it. Oh, I'll be liberated. No. But I'm finding myself, in this activity. That is because your karma is there. That is why you're finding yourself in. So how can I then realize that I want to realize, but I'm getting stuck here? You can realize by being here and the pot story. You walk, you talk, you gossip, you hit, you laugh, you move. Be aware of the thought. Move in awareness. Live in awareness. That awareness will naturally erase all those samskaras, tendencies, because when you don't give fuel to it, it slowly dies down. So if your fuel is what? Your awareness. Where you put your awareness, there the consciousness lights up. If your awareness is all the time on food, tatastu. If your awareness is all the time on your children, tatastu. If it is all in your property, tatastu. Your chaitanya, the chaitanya will shine in that. And that will become important. The moment you put there, you will start interacting with that world. Wherever your consciousness goes. That car is coming. Oh, how many people? Your mind is gone there. Not even mind. If you are not careful, you will get up and go and ask, oh, क्यों है भाई? वो कार में कौन है? क्या है? Gone with the wind. You're not with the pot. So, even I remember somebody asking Holy Mother Sharda that the disciples of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, after Ramakrishna Paramahamsa passed away, Mother Sharda was looking after them. All the great divine disciples. I think there were 12 or 13 of them, including Vivekananda. And they were in a very poor state. You won't believe, they were even khane ke wande the. They didn't even have food, that kind of situation it was. But they never went behind that thing, the doership. That was his strongest, no doership. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was an example of no doership, divine will, surrender. Even when he had cancer and when he was such a child, he used to ask the disciples or devotees who were there. He used to have satsangas. He used to go in and out of nirvikalpa samadhi, one of the highest state of samadhi. Nobody can imagine that state of samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi is absolutely no awareness of even that awareness. Savikalpa, you are aware. You are aware that there is you are even aware of your thoughts when you go into Savikalpa Samadhi. There is thoughts and all that, but you are completely not identified with it. Nothing can distract you, but you are aware of the things around you. Nirvikalpa, you are not even aware of yourself. The one who is aware also, you are not aware. Highest state, God realization. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was one such giant mystic who used to live in that kind of state. He used to go into ecstasy, Bhava Samadhi, and then from there into Savikalpa Samadhi, and from there into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He used to ask his devotees. He's such a man of this stature. When he had that throat cancer, he used to ask, will I get healed? See the simplicity he used to ask. Then devotees used to cry. He used to say, Master, you tell the mother right now she will heal you. You have done so much things. Just one intention of yours will cure you. Says, no, mother's wish. Whatever her wish, let it happen, I don't want. How many times the devotees pleaded with him. He used to get anxious. Look at that. He used to get anxious. Will I get cured? Will I get healed? And they used to cry and beg of him, Master, why are you doing this? Ask one. He said, no, it's the mother's will. Everything is mother's will. Even this disease, but I'm asking you. So you see that state of this, non-doership completely. Not even a tiny fraction. I'm not saying we should become, but they are our best examples. When you look at them, you say, oh my God. You get inspired. These are human, living in human bodies. When Totapuriji, his guru, so-called guru, it's not guru exactly, but as a form of guru he came, because nowhere in Ramakrishna Mission they treat Totapuriji as his guru, if you see. No textures treat him like that. And never did even Ramakrishna talk as a guru. But that reverence is there, that God at timely came in the form of Totapuriji, and see, from duality to non-duality, he helped him do that. Because Ramakrishna ji was not having body consciousness. And yogic kriyas like sadhana, Totapuriji was a yogi. To do sadhana, you have to have duality. The doership should be there. You can see he was going to, the moment he thought of mother, gone to samadhi. And Totapuriji is shouting, Arey, you need to now become active. You have to do something. What do you have to do? You have to take the sword and cut. Oh, I have to do. That's a doership. Okay, I'll try to do. Again, the thought of mother, he goes into samadhi. Non-doership, completely. He could not do anything. Finally, Totapuriji had to use a device, a particular device, that to bring him back into body consciousness. He's losing body consciousness. The next time he was about to go, he takes a glass piece and cuts it in the forehead. Suddenly, he becomes aware of his body consciousness. The moment body consciousness he's come back, he gives the command, take the sword and cut that mother that you see in your mind. And he's able to do. And then he has that realization of oneness. That moment he enters into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and 3 days Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is in that state. And Totapuriji is waiting. He'll come out now. For a couple of hours, 1 day passes, 2 days passes, 3 days passes. He's in that and he's shocked to see him. When he comes out of his Samadhi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa thanks him so much and says, you have come timely and done this. He said, no, you don't have to bow down, I have to bow before you. Totapuriji said to Ramakrishna ji, I have to bow before you because the state of Samadhi that you had entered, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, this is the highest state. I have spent my whole life trying to get what you just did in 3 days. I must bow to you. Here I am again comparing the yogic and the other. The awareness. There is something beyond that yogic thing also. It's beyond. So hand in hand it's needed. To stabilize, we need sadhana. To get rid of, it is to get rid of all those things. It's like a tool, sadhana. Like Ramakrishna ji, you have to be in your body consciousness to do. He had to do that literally. So that doing also is needed. This is what an important message in this. Not total. So that's why I said go in balance. Free will as well as divine. But free will, keep it very little. Keep on reducing. Rest on. Start the switch. Kickstart. Leave it to the divine consciousness. And that will start playing. So Mother Sharda was approached by the disciples after Ramakrishna ji left the body. They went and asked her, do you always remember who you are? The disciples asked Mother Sharda, Mother, do you remember always who you are? They know that, she remembers that she is not this body. She is not this mind. She is not this Mother Sharda in this body. She is a divine being. The I, the shell. They all knew that, he knows. She remembers that, who she is. So one day they posed the question, do you always remember this? To which she said, no, my child, not at all times. But it is available to me when I need it. Listen to this very carefully. Mother Sharda said, no, this kind of a remembrance is not there all the time with me, because if I am in that mode, then I will not be able to do any of my worldly stuff here. There is a lot of work here that I need to do. So if I am always in that remembrance, I won't be able to do. But she says, it is available to me whenever I call forth for it. Whenever I need it, that is shifting into awareness. It is my free will. If I am getting too in that and I cannot, then I ground myself. I live in the world like the pot on the head, balanced properly. But whenever I need to go into that state, it's my will. Okay, there's nothing to do. Now I need to go into that. My will. She says it is available to me whenever I call it, whenever I need it. So she has kept it aside till then. When she needs it, she just pulls it. This is what I'm trying to encourage and tell you, that you need not be always in that blissful state. And no, we can be in the world and all that, but practicing awareness again and again, living a conscious life again and again, what will happen is it will be not far outreached. Whenever you need it, you can just call it. So I think this session must have helped you very clearly, deeply, and I'm very happy that apart from this, we did not talk on any other subject today. And today I had put this post of Thich Nhat Hanh, great mystic in the Buddhist field, who said that the wave does not need to become the water, it is already water. I put it on my profile today. The wave does not need to become water, it is already water. That's awareness. That's the knowingness that I am that water. So the wave in the sea, if you see, that sea is the whole ocean, is the God consciousness, the supreme consciousness, out of which there are many waves coming up, many souls coming up. The moment a wave comes, see this. The wave, when it takes a form, that is when the I is born, the identity. Till then it is what? It is water. The moment that water takes a form, it is now called as wave. But is that wave different from the water? It's not. It's the same. It's water itself. But only thing, it has taken a form now, a particular form. Due to many things like the wind and currents or whatever it is. It has taken a form. Due to our karmas, we take a form. That identification as this wave is what we call as I-ness. But the greatest awareness is to become aware that this wave, the me, the wave, is nothing but water itself. I am not the wave, I am water. So that beautiful saying, I found it, I said, wow, this is so connecting. Where he said the wave does not need to become water, it already is water. So deep, right? Okay, and do you have any other questions on this? On today's session, anything specific? If anything is unclear, if you want to connect anything, if you want to share anything, we can do that. I know we extended it for a little more time because some more examples came into my mind. So I thought it can complete this today's this. And returning to source is not just one session. It can go on. It can go on. So I would suggest, if you are very happy, and even I would be happy to spend at least 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours in this space, contemplating, reflecting, so that every Sunday or once a week we do it. It's good to be reminded. It keeps us rooted in higher truths. And the rest of the week, if we live in that kind of awareness, wherever we do, in our office, in our work, in our sadhana, in all these practices, when you do, it becomes easy. So somebody had asked me yesterday, is it possible to do sadhana and get into awareness? I told you, the moment you get into doership, it's a problem. But rather, I'd say reverse it. Become aware, practice awareness, and then go into sadhana. With that awareness, when you go into sadhana, it enhances your practice, whatever practice comes in. Yes, and if anybody does need any kind of personal consultation, please feel. If it is anything apart from this, you need to even know something deeper, something that is creating obstacle for you, something that you need personal, which you cannot talk here. Many people sign up for that. They cannot even ask in public because they don't want me to address anything on the video. So you can do, and all those things are kept completely confidential. I don't go to it. I give some examples which are very vague, which can be related to not all the personal stuff. So we'll just end it with a short practice of awareness that will help us understand what this whole thing is about. Can you see a sudden silence? There was so much of talking, there was so much of listening that was going in your mind. You were listening to me, perhaps completely focused here, and for the past few hours only my voice was resonating.
Suddenly it dropped when I went silent. Can you become aware of that silence? Now, how many of you became aware of this tapping right now? Did it distract you from something? You can see how when suddenly there is in the stillness, when there is a noise or a distraction, suddenly how your mind completely jumps into it. It takes a dive towards that and completely get engrossed in it. Somebody must have even thought, oh, what is that guy doing? What is he tapping? Is he singing a song? Suddenly the mind goes into that. This is what I am purposely doing so that you understand what is Drishtabhava. Drishta means not engaging your thoughts in your mind, not engaging with an opinion or judgment of what you hear and see or feel or perceive. Anything that comes into your perception by sound, by sight, by smell, by touch, any of these, you should just become aware of it without holding any opinion to it, without attaching any idea to it. You heard it again. Did any thought come to you? What rhythm is that? What is he playing? Is it distracting? It is disturbing? Or were you just able to hear it without connecting anything to it? Go on with this practice. Just stay in that awareness. Just become aware. You are just supposed to be aware of it. It is there in your knowing that there is a sound, there is something that I see, something that I am smelling, but I am not going further than that. I don't want to know what smell is that. I am not investigating into that smell. I don't want to know what sound is that. I am not going investigating further to find out what is further than that. Now, how many of you thought pages are flipping? What book is that? Is he writing something? Is he reading something? How many of it heard the sound but didn't feel anything? You didn't go to think anything further. Are you getting what is awareness about? Awareness is this. You are not entertaining anything further. You are hearing the first what do you call, the sound or the sight or the smell, that first substance, you are sensing it, but you are not going beyond it. One second. Now you saw me doing something. How many of you just watched me doing something without actually going further? Were there thoughts like, what is he doing? This is a spray. What kind of spray is that? Is that a fluid? Is that some detergent? Is that some cleaner? Is that water? Why is he using that? I would like you to be with open eyes only. This is practice, and this is not a rigid practice. I have got to do something. Here you will understand there is no doing. It is not doing. All the doing you have just dropped. When all the doing drops, you just know. You just become aware of the things that are happening. You must have heard a dog bark.
Keep doing that. Just become aware of your surroundings, anywhere. What sound you are hearing in your room, besides your room. Is there any smell that you're sensing? Don't go to find out what smell. Don't go to find out what is the noise. Hear the noise, leave it, drop it. Smell the smell, drop it. See the sight, drop it. Did that disturb you? Did that irritate you or bother your silence? Or did you go into thinking, what sound, which language is that, which song is that, which music is that? Who is the music director, what kind of music is that? If you have gone into that, then you have wandered. But if you have stayed, just you heard it and you are hearing it. But you are not identified with that, what song it is, that who's singing, and not, you are hearing it. Now, how many of you are thinking, what is this guy thinking? What is he doing? What he must be thinking? What is he actually doing inside? It's a distraction. It doesn't matter to you what he is doing. It doesn't matter to you what song it is. It doesn't matter if the tree is falling, if the dog is barking. It doesn't matter if the rain sound is, you are hearing it. You are hearing everything but not reacting to anything, not judging anything, no opinions. Not even the thought of what is this. You're just hearing and not even identifying with it. You'll see as you settle down in the silence, you'll go in that awareness. You need not close your eyes. Now, just become aware of your full body, whole body, at one time. It's like you are aware of your skin. Skin is spread from top to bottom. Can you become aware of your whole skin? Your actually body is in a bag of skin. Just become aware of it. Suddenly, if you are doing it well, you will suddenly see some sensations or some heat or something, some feeling. Now become aware of what is touching that skin. Suddenly you will become aware of your clothes. How your inner clothes are touching you. The inner side of, for example, this t-shirt is touching my hands, my shoulder, my chest, the body. The lower clothing are touching certain parts of the body. Almost all, from the feet till the neck you can see.
some or the other part of your skin is touching the body. Just become aware of the contact between the skin and the cloth. Just becoming aware. Don't close your eyes, nothing. You don't have to close to feel. I will not even say feel, I will say become aware. Just become conscious of all that part which is touching your skin. How does it feel? Is it feeling, see the texture, is it warm, cold, feeling tight, loose? Now your cloth is touching, your cloth has got two sides. The inner side is touching your skin, but the outer side is touching the air, touching the space. Can you become aware of that space that the cloth is touching outside your body? And that space is not limited, it's spread to your whole room. Become aware of the whole space in your room that is actually touching you and your clothes. Become aware of how that space is touching you and your clothes. For example, wherever clothes is there on your body, the space is touching that cloth. And wherever there is no cloth on the body, like the face or the hands or the palms or the soles of the feet, space is directly interacting with that skin. Become aware of those places where the space is directly touching your skin and where the space is directly touching your clothes. Just become aware of that space. Suddenly you will see you are not aware of this space till now. All this while we have been talking, we were not aware of your skin. You are not aware of your clothes. But suddenly now you have seen that you have become aware of it. The moment you become aware, there is a different kind of perception, different kind of sensations that happen in the body and in the mind too. Suddenly you have become aware of the space which you never thought of. The space looks empty, but no, there is air in it which you can't see. Vayu Tattva is there, and something above that, the ether is there, Akash Tattva. That is what is called as space. Now this space is blocked by the walls of your rooms. But you can see the space is connected wherever there is a window or a door that is open. It connects to the outer space. Expand your awareness from the inner space of the inner room to the outer space of the space outside the room, or even maybe outside the house. Just become aware of all that you can perceive, that whole space that is connected to outside your room and your house. How does this feel of the spaces? What is this feeling of the space? You are actually touching the highest tattva, the ether, which is the Akash tattva. It is one of the most powerful tattvas because this space is what connects everything in the whole cosmos. If you see, there is no distance. The moment you remove this space, there is no distance. The same space, become aware completely now. Stay completely in awareness of what I am saying. The same space that is right now touching my perception out of this room and this house and outside what space I see is the same space which is touching you. Can you identify with that?
technically speaking, we are not disconnected. Technically speaking, we are touching each other. Your skin is touching the space is touching us all. If you get this clear enough, I assure you, you will have no difficulty connecting with your favorite Ishta, your master, or the God. Because the only thing that connects and distances you from your master or guru or God or your favorite deity or being is this space. The moment you become aware of the space, the distance is covered. So if you are aware of the space outside of you, which is touching your body right now, you are connecting to the same space that is touching some other human being in some corner of the world. Not just that, even outside the world. The whole cosmos, you are actually touching the planets and stars and galaxies. It's a very, very powerful perception, very, very powerful practice of awareness, where you can actually touch an enlightened being. I remember I was in Tirunamalai and doing a session for somebody who wanted to come to Tirunamalai, and by divine grace, that appointment was not happening, and that appointment date fell exactly the day I was in Tirunamalai. And then I see that person has contacted for Tirunamalai, and they never knew that I am going to be in Tirunamalai. And we did this session where I connected her to the ether and said, you don't have to come all the way from UK to Tirunamalai to experience Tirunamalai. All that you got to do is this. So this space is right now even touching Arunachaleshwara. It is even touching all your favorite places. Be it Kedarnath, Rishikesh, Gangotri, even Mount Kailash. If your perception is very high, you will go deeper and touch that space. Through this space, you operate in your awareness and touch that space through awareness. You can touch any holy space. Whomever you call God, whomever you relate with, this is space, this ether space. That is why it is known as Chidakasha. The secrets of Chidakasha, Gita. The secrets of Chidambaram. Ambaram, Ambar, sky. Chidambar. Just be connected to your favorite God, your master, anyone right now, through space, through ether. This is a thoughtless state. You don't send any thoughts, you don't think, you don't ask, you don't beg, you don't borrow, you don't pray. There's nothing here. It is just awareness, pure awareness, because stillness, this is the language of stillness, this is the language of silence. My master used to talk a lot about the language of silence. This is that. You will see if you are connected properly, if you are in a state of awareness of this space that is touching your body and the body of whom you revere and respect and honor as an enlightened being. You will see that you are touching the consciousness of that. If you are doing it right, you will feel, you will have different experiences. Go with the experiences, but don't involve the mind or ego into this. Don't ask, don't plead, don't give any message, nothing. Because the moment you go to do that, you come down into ego consciousness, which will disrupt the flow. Stay in that stillness. You don't even have to close your eyes. If you're forcefully getting it closed, no problem. If it is happening on its own. If it is not, just be aware. This is how the enlightened beings like Bhagwan Nityananda, Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi, Bhagwan Ramakrishna, Bhagwan Nisargadatta Maharaj, all the great mystics lived in Mauna in this manner. They were touching everything. They knew everything. But they were not engaged in anything. It's a powerful practice. Right now what's happening to you is the whole light of your awareness, your Chaitanya is shining into the Akash Tattva. And thus everything that is coming in the vicinity of this Akash Tattva is illumined. You drop away from your mind and ego consciousness. So it diminishes, light diminishes there, and when it diminishes there, it cannot become active. It becomes helpless, lifeless. What is life? Where you give your Chaitanya on, where you focus your awareness on. Wherever your consciousness is, that you are giving life. It's a strange feeling of silence, where you won't feel like talking, don't feel like doing, don't even feel like thinking. Some might even not even feel like listening. It's okay. These are the practices that I do in places like Tiruvannamalai. Being silent with myself. In this space, you're not alone. You are connected to some divine consciousness, which is what makes you silent. This is the method that you need to do whenever you go to holy places. You become a walking meditator. You do anything in this state. You can even eat, you can even walk, you can even talk. Like I am talking right now, but I am deeply connected to my stillness also. Because this is my karma that I am doing, but I am doing it in a state of yogaskur karmani, being connected completely. So any activity that you do in any holy places, you just walk in this place, this space, just be connected to that place, and lot of things will happen in very great vortexes where the energy and consciousness is very high. You will actually connect to that consciousness, and what has to happen for your highest good shall keep happening in those places. That is why I give importance to vortexes and places like that. It helps you in your expansion of awareness. Now, if you have been closing your eyes, you can slowly open your eyes and just slowly look into what we are into. You don't need to disconnect anything. Don't disconnect.
That is a wrong practice that we do. The moment we finish our meditation or sadhana, we immediately wind up and cut off. And then even if we don't cut off, we stay there for a while, and then when we get up and get back into the world, we disconnect. We shouldn't do that. Make it a habit to do this practice that you have learned or experienced today. The mornings or whenever you can see that it doesn't take a special time for this. If you do it properly, not even a single soul will know that you are in meditative process. You can do it in buses, in trains, in cars, in flights, anywhere. But don't do it while driving when you need your body consciousness, because sometimes you might skip out of your body consciousness. So never do it while riding or driving. When you're doing something that needs precision, like using a knife or cutting things or something like that, or with fire, be very careful. Do not do this that time. But when you are doing your other activities, actually nothing happens even when you are doing the most dangerous things. Nothing happens. But sometimes if we are not fully aware, we can drift away from body consciousness. Higher awareness is not losing body consciousness, being aware and not losing body consciousness. Like that Avduta who told us to drive the car, being connected, and nothing will happen. That's how the divine forces protect you. Many of them ask, what is my secrets of travel and connecting? This is what I do. When you are in this space, you are in divine synchronicity. All that is meant for you will happen. What is good for your highest good and the highest good of all, only that happens in this pure consciousness, because it does not have a motive. It does not have an intention. That is why I said be careful. Do not throw your thoughts into this. Do not have any ideas about this. Do not try to describe it. Do not try to imagine it. Do not try to penetrate it. Do not try to put your thoughts or any feelings, actions, nothing to it. Not even the thought of, oh, this is blissful. You'll spoil it. The moment there is any activity in the stillness, it is no more a stillness. It is noise. So to maintain that stillness, you must be very careful not to put any thoughts, but just be in that witness. Just be aware of it all the time. It's like your consciousness is drinking or devouring that divine consciousness all the time. Absorb like a sponge. You become like a sponge. But then you don't do anything. You don't absorb it with your will. You are just aware that you have become a sponge and the absorption is happening. You don't absorb. Let it happen. This is the perfect way of practicing awareness. There is no doership. Awareness does it all. So right now you are looking back. I would see that you look back, and if you close your eyes, you can open up and be in this world and move around in this space. When we disconnect from here also, don't immediately jump back into the ego consciousness. Don't jump back into your mind and sudden physical activity and suddenly go and do something. Don't do that. Because we are not practicing just moments of awareness. We are practicing how to expand that awareness in our daily activity. So whenever you can, sit and do this practice. It may take 20 minutes, it might take even 2 minutes, not a problem. Whenever you are idle, whenever you feel you can do it. Do it, expand that awareness, and then continue with your work and see the results, what will happen. So with this, I take your leave. It's been very nice being with you, spending 4 hours with you. I was thinking only 2 hours, but 4 hours has gone by. And I'm hopeful that this session was very fruitful. You may please put your comments and share your comments. Not here, because here is a chat box, it's just for us. But if I do share something on Facebook or any other place about this session, I won't be sharing this video at all with anybody. But the insights about this, when I share, you may please want to put your comments there so that people realize that this is possible. And it doesn't take a big amount of deal to do something. Without doing also, you can enter into such beautiful realms. and this will motivate people to expand consciousness in their life and to benefit for themselves. So you might want to leave a comment if you like, that I won't force you, it's your wish, but if you do, it will help others in understanding this process, so that if they want to join, they can definitely join. Otherwise, we just continue with how it is. Divine will. Okay, good. I'm hearing all of you. Since there are many names, I won't be able to take your names, but thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your feedbacks, because your feedbacks makes us understand what it is. Otherwise, we won't understand what it is. So it's late. I think your lunchtime also. It's 3 o'clock. Thank you for sacrificing or delaying your lunch. Would you please share this with us in email? I was able to join late. Yes, all those people who have been here, I will add this into. This will become automatically private now. After the moment I close this, it will automatically go into a private mode where nobody else will be able to see it, not even you. So what will happen is, those who need this, what you call, for any recalling, or if you are late or something, just ping me. I will add your email names into this place, because whoever email is there, only they will be able to see it after this becomes private. So right now, only those who have got the invite are here. So if anybody is there that way, you can please just send me a ping. I'll add your email so that you can anytime look into this video. This video will remain, but in closed circuit. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for sparing your time and being here. Because of you, I was able to do this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity for this. Stay blessed, much divine love and light. May we all evolve. Gurudev Sharanam, Guru Mandala Sharanam. Stay blessed.